Didn't think I'd catch you all so soon, did ya? Welcome to another upload. As my channel is still young, I thought I'd experiment with another video idea I've had for a while. In fact, I tried to make this video a couple years back, but lost a lot of the notes for it. What is this video gonna be then? Well, seeing as I went back and reviewed Plants vs. Zombies 1 for the first time in a while, I thought it'd be fun to combine my nostalgia for the first game with my love for the second game, Plants vs. Zombies 2. And so, in this video, I'm gonna see how much of Plants vs. Zombies 2 is beatable without using Plants vs. Zombies 2 plants. And I'm just gonna say it now, I doubt the entire game is beatable without using Plants vs. Zombies 2 plants, due to the higher ratio of new freemium plants to old ones, but I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how much is possible. Let's get some ground rules out of the way first. For starters, I'm not going to be leveling up plants, except for maybe Pea Shooter in the beginning because I think it's mandatory. In that case, why aren't I just playing an older version of the game that's only up to modern day? Well, I thought about it, but instead decided that it would be more fun to see how much the game has evolved since Adventure Mode had been completed, and maybe to encourage veteran Plants vs. Zombies players to give this challenge a try with the most accessible version of the game available right now. Next rule, I'm going to try and avoid power-ups, except for that one level that must be beaten with power-ups. I'm mainly doing this because if levels can't be beaten without using Plants vs. Zombies 2 plants, I don't want to resort to having to beat them with just power-ups. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I just like to assume the whole game is technically beatable with just power-ups. Finally, I cannot use or let any Plants vs. Zombies 2 plants affect my gameplay. I may have to plan a Plants vs. Zombies 2 plant and shovel them in order to make space in the conveyor belt, for example, but as long as they don't stall a zombie or attack them, placing and shoveling is fair game. This also means that magnifying grass is off the table for this run. Otherwise, that should be it. This video will include my commentary. I'm not going to make you read like in other Plants vs. Zombies videos. Just kidding, voice or not, Plants vs. Zombies content on YouTube is still pretty good. So yeah, let's start the game. As you might expect, the player's house is intended to be the game's tutorial world. I will say, the fact that you can't just skip the tutorial world and go to the 4th stage like you used to is odd. And these levels are also really short. Like, look at the progress bar by the final wave. I guess I don't mind getting through the tutorial world as fast as possible to get to the actual game, but then why not just have a skip option from the start? These don't feel like actual levels sometimes. They feel like those really bad mobile game previews. They even hold your hand by day 5. Wait, day 5? Yeah, you don't get cabbage pulled in ancient Egypt anymore. You're taught about graves early, which doesn't make any sense. It makes graves feel like less of a special world gimmick compared to when you see them for the first time in ancient Egypt. Christ, this audio. It feels like I'm playing Plants vs. Zombies 2 China again. I also don't know why Zomboss is here, like he wasn't teased at the end of the original tutorial. But ultimately, that doesn't matter, because here we are.
Ancient Egypt.
Welcome to the first real world of Plants vs. Zombies 2. Now I'm just going to preface this section by saying that a lot has changed since the original version of Ancient Egypt. For example, the first level of Ancient Egypt and the plant food tutorial level of Ancient Egypt have been combined, with Day 1's dialogue being combined with Day 2's plant food dialogue for some reason. I guess that's fine, but they could have done it more naturally. Day 2 is the power-up level. Bro, come on, I don't need a free defense. You know I'm just going to spam power toss, that power-up is goated. And Day 3 gives us coins that we can use for plant food. I also forgot to mention that 2 out of 6 of the world's special zombies have already been introduced 3 out of 25 levels in. 2 out of 6. Day 4 is the first conveyor belt level, and I think I confused it for the Gargantuar stage because I kept expecting to get cabbage bolts. I can't use bloomerangs, so I decided to stall the zombies with walnuts. Eventually one used up my lawnmower, until it was replaced for free. What I thought was going to be the game's first impossible level became exploitable by the game's generosity. We can't have it this good forever, so you might as well enjoy it. The level rewards us with a piñata, which leads to an unskippable leveling up process for Pea Shooter, which means that we're forced to have a level 2 Pea Shooter for this run. And yes, I tried finding any way to skip this cutscene. Day 5 introduces us to Explorer Zombie, and rewards us with his counter which we can't even use. We also now have access to the shop. I forgot to bring it up earlier, but obviously I'm not going to be buying premium plants in order to complete this challenge, even if they're from PvZ1. However, Gemium or Gemium plants pose an interesting alternative if the game provides us with enough gems to afford one. There's also this daily login to get seed packets for Torchwood, along with this month coincidentally being the month to get pumpkin seed packets. Interesting. Day 6 is the Gargantuar level, because for some reason we needed to be introduced to one, 2 levels after the game gives us infinite lawnmowers to beat a stage. The Gargantuar isn't the problem in this level, as we're given potato mines to counter it. The problem is only being able to use Cabbage Pull, which didn't come often enough in the conveyor belt to counter the groups of camel zombies during my first try. I tried using potato mines to take out the groups, but that strategy could have gone a lot better. At the very least though, the stage is possible. Day 7 is weird, giving us a large amount of sun like a Last Stand level, but playing out like a normal level. Oh well, time to spam cabbage pulls to no end. But past this point, there doesn't seem to be any more tutorials. Finally, to play the game to my own control. Great. Surprisingly, not having iceberg lettuce isn't as big of a game changer as I was expecting, unlike Gravebuster, who we can use, and makes all the difference in this world. Day 11 is another locked and loaded level, but this time it gave us all the essentials, so you know what that means. And beating Day 12 has got us some gems. Never mind. Mold colonies? Man, I'm gonna miss using bok choy. It's at this point in the world where I've grown pretty comfortable with my strategy of pea shooters in the back and sunflowers in the front, along with assistance from Gravebuster, Potato Mine, and Walnut. So this next stretch of level is just me grinding the same strat until I get Repeater. Just know that I unlocked the Zen Garden after day 14, which I have not entered in order to save the boosted sunflower tutorial for when I need it. Kind of like how you can save the free Baby Boom ability in Battle Cats when you unlock the Cat God for the first time. Day 15 was an easy save our seeds, day 16 was a normal level, day 17 was a don't have more than X plants level, day 18 was a Last Stand level, which I almost gave up on halfway through before realizing my strategy was actually working out, and day 19 was a combination of a mold colony and don't have more than X plants level. But finally, we unlocked Repeater, who will be taking pea shooter's place in my current lineup. And let me just say, having Repeater really makes a difference, especially in saving plant space. But that's not the only plant in this world that specializes in saving plant space, as we're on the road to unlocking them. Day 23 has our second Gargantuar in this world, but it's nothing I can't handle. I also changed up my strategy a bit for day 24, and this level really showcased the usability of Cabbage Pult's plant food ability in this challenge. But we've got them, Twin Sunflower. And now, we've reached the game's first boss, the Zomboss Sphinxinator. Surprisingly, this boss was fairly easy thanks to Cabbage Pult and Repeater. There's a bit of strategy involved though. Use plant food to prevent Zomboss' charge attack in order to protect your offense, and stall Gargantuars with Repeater's plant food effect, then boom, dead Zombot. Longtime PvZ2 fans might have realized that we didn't get a statue for completing Ancient Egypt. In fact, Perceptive fans may have even noticed that I didn't get a world key after beating day 6, or even unlock the Pyramid of Doom. The second one I don't know the reason behind, but the reason I didn't get a world key is because you now must complete a world before moving on to the next one. Which is interesting. It prevents my original strategy of going to Dark Age as soon as possible to get all the mushrooms, so it looks like we'll have to get through Pirate Seas.
Soy libre. Adiós, mocosos.
Pirate Seas isn't too hard of a transition from Ancient Egypt. And now we can use our newly acquired Twin Sunflower. And I gotta say, she's a pretty nice sun producer. Definitely a better alternative to Sunflower when the levels are more slower paced. Day 1 also rewards us with Kernel Pult, who will be able to counter Seagull zombies and also Butter zombies. Well then. Uh-oh. Yep, you guessed it. Day 4 is impossible to clear without using Coconut Cannon to kill Seagull zombies. And an even bigger insult to injury is that we don't have access to power-ups, making this level double impossible. Well, looks like we'll have to suck it up and use our Coconut Cannons. You know, you used to be able to grind this level for coins back in the day. Then they made it so you can only get 1 coin per completion, and now, nothing at all. Funnily enough, I think getting nothing at all is less insulting than getting 1 coin. Day 4 is another normal level, and day 5... Wait, Is this possible? Yep, this is possible. Day 6 is another normal level, but now we can use Spikeweed in our strategies. And naturally, the game introduces barrel roller zombies. Let me show you how to take these guys out. And now, day 8. I was expecting this level to be really hard, but it actually wasn't that bad. Spikeweed got a clutch kill, and everything kept stepping on this damn potato mine when I was trying to use it for the Gargantuar, to which my Kernel Pulse killed normally. And I ended up beating 2 other Gargantuars through stalling. Victory potato! What the f? Day 9 is another normal level, but Spring Bean haters are about to eat good tonight cause we ain't using them. It's not like Potato Mine or Spikeweed can't handle taking out basic zombies for us. As for Imp Cannons, Spikeweed can take out as many as they fire. Definitely a lot more reliable than using Spring Beans. Day 11 is another impossible Coconut Cannon level, but hey, at least they gave me a coin this time, I guess. And Day 12 was another normal level. Beating Day 12 did give us this 25% Sun Back trophy, and an unlocked arena, but obviously one of those is more important than the other. Hey look, here's a new goal. Produce X Sun. Twin Sunflower cut it close, but this level was a breeze outside of introducing Pirate Captain zombies. I read in my notes that there was no counter to them, but it turns out that buttering the parrot kills it instantly, which took me way too long to figure out. Day 14 was the world's first Last Stand level, and the repeater strat actually lost me at the first time. But switching my strategy to include Kernel Pulse made all the difference in the end. Day 15's somehow the first Don't Let the Zombies Trample the Flowers level, which was a surprise. I forgot this goal was even a thing. Oh. Now, I know this looks bad for the challenge, but we can technically pass the level if the Spring Beans don't get used. So we'll treat them like we did with the sunflowers in Egypt, protect them behind walnuts. Thankfully, the game was nice enough not to throw swashbuckler zombies onto my Spring Beans, so we managed to make it through this one alive. No Spring Beans used. Man, this game is giving us new goals left and right. Now we gotta kill 20 zombies in 30 seconds. I don't know how you guys play these levels out, but I usually just wait until the last wave and plant food all my repeaters. Day 18 is that one level where we get no sunflowers. But our loadout is well curated to this challenge, so it's not a problem. And we got Spike Rock. Only one plant left for us to get in Pirate Seas. So let's push to the finish. Day 19! I lost this level once because I wasn't sure if this would count as stepping on the flowers. Day 20! Coconut. Day 21! A double objective level, producing sun and killing zombies. Spike Rock carried hard, and we got ourselves a 7 seed slot. Day 22 is Spikeweed the level. Day 23 is another multi-objective level that I don't care enough to talk about. And Day 24... Oh no. Day 24 sees us protecting Spring Beans again. But the game commits the cardinal sin of throwing swashbuckler zombies on top of our Spring Beans, which my plants can't kill fast enough before the Spring Beans bounce them into the water. And imp cannons don't make this level any easier, requiring perfect RNG in order to not have an imp be on the same tile as a Spring Bean for more than a second. The game doesn't give us enough plant food to take out every imp cannon either, so things seem like a lost cause. Until I remember that Blover exists, who could take care of the swashbucklers and even the imps from the imp cannon. Could it mean that the level was impossible now but possible later? Well, I was a long way from far future, and in order for a level to be possible, I should be able to beat it with my loadout up to this point. If I can just take out the swashbucklers before they land on my Spring Beans, then... Wait. There's no way this is gonna work. Holy sh**. Y'all are gonna regret making fun of Cabbage Pult now. Cabbage Pult, as far as I'm concerned, is the main reason this level is possible. Because with the right timing, Cabbage's plant food can take out every swashbuckler before Spring Bean can bounce them back. But that doesn't make this level any easier. Let me explain my strategy. Twin sunflowers, lots of them. You're gonna want to stall the first wave as much as possible. I'm talking walnuts, waiting until as late as you can to kill the zombies with Spike Rock. Let the first Seagull zombie take out the lawnmower. You'll need as much time as possible to gather sun, plant some Kernel Pults, and plant at least one Cabbage Pult. There'll be 2 waves of swashbuckler zombies, and with the right timings, boom. Once you reach the first wave, you'll want to start stacking 3-peaters to take out the imp cannons. With some stalling from your Kernel Pults, and some plant food if necessary, you'll have just enough time to take out the imp cannons, as long as you don't let any imps get bounced back by the Spring Beans. And although you should technically keep an eye on your spike rock lanes, the levels should be over by the time they start needing help. It's a tight strategy, but with enough finesse and a touch of luck, that cherry bomb will be yours. Or pinata, however you beat it first. Man, what a doozy. But we persevered, and now we made it to day 25. And it was pleasantly easy. Is what I would have said if this didn't happen. And this. And also this. Yeah, this level sucks ass.
Dude, this car is...
Who would have guessed that the easiest Zombot wouldn't be easy with that Snapdragon and Coconut Cannon of all plants? For some reason, this level doesn't give you Spike Rock, and Cherry Bombs are far and few between. This means that early level attacks such as Zomboss' stupid Imp Cannon can really pull a number on you if you don't have the right defense built up. In fact, you might as well just restart if the first attack Zomboss does is the Imp Cannon. The other plants you can use, Three-Peter, Kernel Pole, and Spikeweed, are specifically good in numbers. None of their plant food abilities are specifically strong against Zomboss either. Three-Peter's damage output is whatever, Kernel Pole's butter effect can't freeze Zomboss, and Spikeweed's, while extremely situational, cannot stop Zomboss' charge attack like it should. This means that you have to play a long, patient fight. The only plant food effect you're going to be using consistently is Kernel Pulse, as freezing all the zombies is surprisingly useful here, especially for Gargantuars. Use your Cherry Bombs when absolutely necessary, and always carry at least one plant food on you in case Zomboss tries to charge through your defenses. And the most important detail, let the Coconut Cannons and Snapdragons build up in your conveyor belt. If you're wondering why, the game only gives you 7 of them in total, which means that when the conveyor belt is not giving you Coconut Cannons or Snapdragons, it'll give you the Three-Peters, Spikeweeds, Kernel Pulse, and Cherry Bombs you need to beat the level. And, wait till you know it, you'll have a dead Zombot. I cannot describe how good this victory felt, but it'll be one of many, because we're moving on to Wild West. Am I really gonna keep that in?
Yeehaw!
Being the last of the original 3 worlds, Wild West picks up the difficulty by limiting our planting space due to these mine carts. But since we got Three-Peter last world, it's time to make good use of them. We also get to use our newly acquired Cherry Bomb, a plant we unlocked at the end of Pirate Seas. They're good at what they do, exploding in a 3x3 radius, but I have yet to find a reliable use for them. Especially because, with a good enough strategy, I only use them to kill a group of zombies the last wave and speed up the gameplay. Oh well, I'm sure they'll get a better chance to shine soon. And I've got Split Pea, a plant I've grown to really like in my previous playthroughs of this game. I'm excited to find a use for them outside of this world's special zombie, Prospector Zombie. But for now, putting a Split Pea in each row feels a lot less chaotic than relying on the minecarts for them. Day 3 introduces Pianist Zombies. I guess we're going the Ancient Egypt route and introducing every special zombie as early as possible. Let me show you how to deal with pianos. Day 4. It's not okay, Corral. Boring! And Day 5 introduces Poncho Zombies. Looking at the map, it'll be a good while before we get any new plants we can use. Plus, there's only 2 more zombies left for this world to introduce. Or 3, if you want to count the problem one. Day 6 is this world's first last stand level. I had to switch up my strategy a couple times, but I'll continue standing by the use of Cabbage Pult's plant food effect. It's really good. Day 7 isn't worth mentioning, and then there's Day 8. Unless the game miraculously starts giving me enough Split Peas to take out the Gargs and Pianists, this one's looking to be impossible. Day 9 is a locked and loaded level, and our first taste at using this world's ultimate reward, Wintermelon. The only PvZ-1 plant in our arsenal that can chill and extinguish flames. And he does a good enough job at it. I mean, he better for that price. Beating this level unlocks Lightning Reed, and that'll give you an idea of what zombie is going to get introduced next. Yeah, you may be wondering, what plant has a quick enough attack rate to take out the groups of chickens that isn't Lightning Reed? They didn't even make it to the walnuts, man. Oh. Wait! I don't know how I did that, but you know what they say. A small brain is big twice a day. You know what? Out of curiosity, yeah, that's gonna be a no from me, dog. Give me Melon Pult. Huh, it's been a while since we've had a don't lose more than X plants level. And we got pianist zombies. Switch out Spikeweed for Spike Rock and it's a done deal. We even snagged ourselves the Walnut First Aid trophy. A trophy I always look forward to obtaining. And a good time too, since day 16 is a Save Our Seeds level. I struggled a bit more than I should have, but Split Pea and Cherry Bomb pulled clutches more times than I can count. We also unlocked Penny's Pursuit, which is cool, I guess. Day 17 is another flower trampling level. I guess potato mines don't stop bulls from charging forward. I also found out that bulls take up 2 tiles, which is why goofy shit like this happens sometimes. Day 18 is another last stand. And I forgot there were going to be cone heads. Specifically because the game's camera doesn't correctly show all the zombies on the right for some reason anymore. So I reworked my strategy. I even had a cabbage pult so I can use his plant food as a lifeline, and man am I impressed. We also got Tallnut, who I've been looking forward to using all game. If I'm able to find a niche use for cabbage pult, I'm hoping I can do the same with Tallnut. Day 19 was a don't lose X plants and don't spend more than 2000 sun level. I decided to do a wall of spike rocks and controlled this Split Pea on a cart, which worked nicely. Day 20 feels so close to possible, but Pea Shooter just doesn't have enough power to take out all the zombies before it's eaten, even at level 2. I'm positive this would be possible with a higher level Pea Shooter, but for the sake of the challenge's rules, I'm gonna call it impossible. I hate not okay Corral, bro, just give me that stupid trophy. If there's a level that limits us on sun and has flowers in it, then you know I'm using Walnut and one of the Spike Brethrens. Day 22 is the last locked and loaded level of this world, and I believe this level is genuinely pretty tricky. There are a lot of chickens, and the only counter to them is traditional firepower and the occasional melon splash damage. I think using sunflowers in the front, both to accumulate sun for winter melons and to use as walls for chickens, is the best strategy. My notes for day 23 are just Spike Rock and no caps. And day 24 isn't that hard. Really pay attention to the walnuts in order to repair them, and if you start to panic, just plant food them. Just don't let too many chickens stack up on a walnut. And finally, day 25, Zomboss. Seeing as Wintermelon is the only adventure plant that can chill, I cannot come up with words to describe how much easier Zomboss becomes when you can slow him down. It's not even just that, the firepower you have with both types of melon pults means that they carry the fight. Split Peas, of course, also have their purpose. Their plant food effect from behind is great against Gargantuars, and it never hurts to have more firepower, even if it is a Pea Shooter. You don't really get enough Tallnuts for them to do much, but they're still extremely powerful walls. The only difficulty in this fight is filling up the conveyor belt with Pea Pods and Lightning Reeds. Pea Pods are easy to plant and shovel, but Lightning Reed's range and quick attack rate means that you really have to pay attention when you plant and shovel them. I know they'll only do a tiny bit of damage if they accidentally get an attack in, but it's just the principle of the challenge. Still, I'd say the Zomboss is on par with Ancient Egypt's. Not too easy, but not too hard either. And definitely easier than Pirate Seas. And so, we've done it. The first 3 worlds of the base game complete. But things are not going to get easier from here. New world gimmicks, new zombies, and not a new Plants vs. Zombies 1 plant for miles. It's time for Frostbite Caves. I also want to mention that when I was browsing through the shop for costumes, Chomper was on sale for $1, so I bought him as a goof. I can't even use them for this challenge, but I just find it funny that Chomper, of all plants, was on sale. Okay, Ice Age time.
It seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV.
Here we are, Frostbite Caves. Due to the shuffling of worlds from release order to difficulty, and the removal of traditional world keys, we'll be going into this world from Wild West. Day 1 isn't anything too difficult. Slider tiles are a fun mechanic, but it's the plant we get from beating Day 1 that worries me. Past Day 1, cold winds will be freezing my plants and turning them into ice blocks. We're given Hot Potato to melt ice blocks, but due to our challenge restrictions, we'll have to break ice to free the plants inside of them. Thankfully, we have Split Pea and Cherry Bomb to counter ice blocks. Split Pea, with its unique ability to chip at ice blocks from front and behind, and Cherry Bomb, to instantly break ice blocks in a 3x3 radius if we need to do so. As long as we lay out our lawn to plant Split Peas and Cherry Bombs when need be, we should be alright throughout this world. Uh-oh, a conveyor belt level. Oh? Turns out day 3 is actually possible thanks to pea shooters and, of course, spikeweed. The conveyor gives you Hurricane for the purpose of pushing zombies back to the start of the lawn, but with plant food, spikeweed serves the same purpose while also damaging zombies. Just be sure to save lane 1's lawnmower until the final wave due to how many zombies will be stacked up by the end of the level. Day 4 introduces hunter zombies, who I'll probably figure out a counter to later. It is reassuring to know that ice blocks are counted as grid items, because it means that I can use catapult plants to attack zombies behind them. Day 5 seems to be impossible. We aren't given enough cabbage pults to take out zombies and defend themselves from the cold winds. I was hoping cabbage's plant food would target ice blocks, giving us a way to thaw the ice without fire plants, but that just isn't the case here. Funnily enough, if I bend my rules and use Power Flame to thaw the ice blocks, this level is more than achievable. Although, one power-up isn't enough. But man, do I wish we can use Power Flame outside this world, because it is good. Hey, we got a new objective level, locked and half-loaded? Thankfully, the plants chosen for me are enough to salvage this level. With catapult plants, we don't have to worry about placing our sun producers up front because they'll never act as walls to our attackers when frozen. Except when stuff like this happens. I am so thankful for Cherry Bomb and Instant Recharge. I also learned that Melon Pult's plant food does the job I've been looking for, which is targeting everything on the board, including ice blocks. Which means we finally found the best plants to use for Frostbite Caves. And day 8, unlike the previous 3 worlds, isn't our Gargantuar level. This is because Frostbite Caves is 32 levels long. If you're wondering why, remember when I mentioned the shuffling of worlds from release order to difficulty? Well, after Far Future, worlds started to be released in 2 halves. Most likely because Far Future took way too long to be released altogether. And when fans were disappointed that part 1 of the next world, Dark Ages, only added 10 levels, PopCap had to find a better standard for these 2-part world updates. So, 16 levels for each part, and longer worlds overall. But that's enough of a PvZ2 history lesson. Ironically, day 8 for Frostbite Caves is also a conveyor belt level, and unless we're given potato mines and walnuts all level, we're probably not going to beat this one for the challenge. Day 9 introduces Dodo Rider zombies, which are going to pose an interesting threat to our defense because they can fly over slider tiles, and especially because we don't even have Blover. At least they can't fly over tall nuts. Man, I'm going to miss using Charge Guard too, and one pea shooter can't even take out a Dodo Rider zombie. At the very least, we start getting 3-peaters later in the level, which ends up working out for us. Just be smart with your plant food and lawnmower usage, and you're golden. Day 11 is another locked and half-loaded level. We can use Suntroops and 3-peaters, but outside of them, we're basically restricted to 4 seed slots. We also have to bring Cherry Bomb, which gives us 1 slot left. I settled on one of the spike plants as our 4th, especially because their plant food can drag these frozen zombies away from the middle of our defense. And trust me, those zombies are bad. But not as bad as the ice. The cold winds in day 11 are relentless, almost requiring a fire plant to warm everything up reliably. The winds are strong enough to turn an entire lane into ice blocks, and without access to an open tile to plant a cherry bomb, or a cherry bomb at all, it means your defense is rendered useless. Split peas can help a bit, but only until they get frozen with the rest of the lane. It doesn't help that the awkward arrangement of slider tiles makes it impossible to have any room for a strong defense. Use defensive plants, winds will completely freeze them. Use spikeweeds for crowd control, winds will freeze them as well. 3-peater shots get constantly blocked by the ice, and the level won't hesitate to throw a Dodo Rider to fly over the slider tiles and use up your lawnmowers. And if this level wasn't possible just because I can't handle the ice, then how's the rest of this world gonna fare? It has to be possible. Might be extremely difficult, but it's not a conveyor belt. I have access to any PvZ1 plant I want. Any PvZ1 plant I want. Any PvZ1... Wait. Remember that 7-day login welcome bonus at the start of the playthrough? Well, it was to get the only PvZ1 plant that has the ability to thaw ice. Torchwood. And believe it or not, I actually had Torchwood before getting into Frostbite Caves. I was just saving it for a rainy day, or should I say a snowy day. But before going through with the decision to use Torchwood for day 11, I actually took to the Plants vs. Zombies subreddit to ask a very simple question. After all, I didn't buy Torchwood seed packets to unlock him. They were given to me for free. And although there was a minority vote, a 5-to-1 ratio is quite telling. So I gave in and used Torchwood. So, does this mean I'll be using Torchwood for the rest of Frostbite Caves? Nah, maybe for another nearly impossible level, but I was not able to keep up with Torchwood around. The amount of carrying the single plant does is ridiculous. Peas into fireballs, the ability to warm plants, immunity to frost, the same health as an infinite with melee damage like an Endurian, and a lane-wide attack after death? Like, are you kidding me? There's a reason why CDM plants are said to, quote-unquote, not be designed for adventure. Let's just get our Charred Guard and move on to day 12. Day 12, Last Stand. I couldn't believe it was possible without Torchwood, but I pulled out all the stops. Melon Pulse for strong damage to zombies and splash damage against the ice blocks, Split Peas for general damage and to chip at ice blocks, Cherry Bombs for crowd control and ice blocks, and Spikeweed plus Walnuts to take out whatever gets through. Also, be sure to have some extra sun for a Cherry Bomb at the start of the level. Day 13 is a normal Trample the Flowers level. Oh, and from now on, I think I'm just gonna skip over days that aren't worth talking about. If I skip over a day, no, it's not a significant level. Day 14 is a locked and loaded level that gives us Split Peas and Sunflowers. I was thinking this level was gonna be extremely difficult, but thankfully the level was designed around the middle lane being used for Split Peas. And day 15 is an impossible save our seeds. I don't see us being able to beat this level without these Pepper Pults attacking a zombie once. It's just not gonna happen. As for day 16, you're kidding if you think this level is beatable with only PVZ1 plant. Oh. I was not expecting to get repeaters. And Spikeweed too? Yeah, that's what I thought. We've now finished part 1 of Frostbite Caves. Let's see what the next 16 levels have to bring us. Day 17 gives us Fume Shrooms, and also introduces Troglodyte zombies. Good day for Melon Pult, as they can kill the Troglodyte zombies before they push these frozen Yeti imps too far. Day 18 is an impossible conveyor belt level, and day 19 is another locked and half-loaded level. Once again, we only have 4 seed slots, but this level is much more feasible than day 11. Day 21 is the Fire Pea Shooter tutorial level. But hey, we've got frozen walnuts, and we can even use spike rocks to kill the zombies and break the ice. What can go wrong? This level is incredibly annoying. Once again, the cold winds and constant plant freezing make your lawn very difficult to manage. The conveyor belt does start giving you magnet shrooms once you get a little further than the first wave, but if your spike rock setup isn't good enough by then magnet shrooms only make so much of a difference. I'm so convinced this level might be possible, but it's extremely frustrating to restart over and over again, so I'm just gonna skip past it and try it again on my own time. Finally, a normal level. Oh. So, do you remember that problem zombie back in Wild West? Well, this is this world's problem zombie. But due to weasels having slightly more health than chickens, we'll have to use Spike Rock to take care of them over Spikeweed. But Spike Rock's cost and the constant cold winds which can render Spike Rock completely useless makes taking care of weasels harder than it should be. Day 23. Survive and protect the plants, huh? Let's see how long this lasts. Yep. Day 24 is the first sun production level in a while. Still, I haven't lost one yet. This level sucks. You really have to watch where you place your plants, as the cold winds are quite unforgiving. Not only that, but our expensive strat of tall nuts for the dodos, spike rocks for the weasels, and melon pulse for everything else requires a lot of sun. Using melon pulse plant food to break all the ice and take out zombies goes a really long way in your strat, along with placing them in just the right tiles so you can cherry bomb them all when they get frozen. Day 25 is the Rotobega tutorial, and day 26 lets us use Rotobega, which we obviously won't. The ice is starting to get really bad though. Day 27, protect the Rotobegas, skip. Last stand? Oh no. However, I think I was onto something with my strat. Melon pulse and walnuts are definitely the way to go. I didn't save enough sun for cherry bombs though, so I had to wing it around the end. Try your best to preserve some sun for last stand levels in this world. And we obviously won't be able to beat day 29 with just sunflower and walnut. So let's move on to day Zomboss? Wait, so you're telling me that part 1 of Frostbite Caves had 16 levels, but part 2 had 14? Okay. Either way, there's not a chance this level is possible. Even with the option of 3-peater, who's not a bad plant to have, the amount of firepower you need to take out the ice, zombies, and Zomboss with that fire plant is ridiculous. Don't forget that Zomboss can also instantly take out any plant he wants, and can blow cold wind to freeze your 3-peaters. But, taking into account everything else you're given, it's obvious why this level is considered a cakewalk. Frostbite Caves was rough. There were a lot more impossible levels in this world than the last couple, but having to deal with this world's mechanics without the main counter to them made levels feel a lot more strategic. I normally dread having to play Frostbite Caves, but this challenge made this world a lot more engaging overall. I'm surprised how many plants from PvZ1 were able to hold up against completely new gimmicks. I really enjoyed going through this world, despite all the difficulties. But enough about that, let's move on to our next adventure.
George of the jungle, friend to you and me.
Compared to Frostbite Caves, Lost City is a lot more vanilla. The world's gimmicks are sun tiles, which produce sun equivalent to a sunflower when planted on. And I mean, they're helpful to have around. I'll never complain about there being sun tiles in the lawn. But it also means that the game expects us to have more sun accumulated for plants than usual. Either way, we got Red Stinger. Definitely not as much of a red flag for things to come as getting Hot Potato in the last world. Ah, pilot zombies. The first floating zombie that Blover wouldn't have helped with. Day 3 is the Lava Guava tutorial level. You know the drill. The funniest part about this level is that it spawns like 4 zombies with plant food all at once for some reason, which is far from necessary. Oh god, excavator zombie. Alright, so I don't know if zombies count as world gimmicks, but the fact that certain zombies can affect the gameplay this much is definitely something. If you didn't know, Excavator Zombie can block any and all straight shots, specifically peas, and can shovel up any plant that's in front of it, including ground plants. This zombie is one of 2 in this world that can block specific attacks, and until we meet the other, we'll just have to take them out with one of our catapult plants. Spikes can also help in a pinch, but are not to be relied on. And if you were curious, Cabbage's plant food effects can't take out excavators as reliably as Explorer zombies or Swashbuckler zombies. If it wasn't obvious by the login rewards, I've been playing this game in November, and it just so happened to have been Black Friday when I was getting through Lost City. So, I bought myself Snow Pea and Squash for half price. And since Squash is a Gemium plant, I'm technically allowed to use them as much as I want. Day 5 and 6 are themed around AKEE, with the former being an impossible conveyor belt level. Day 7 introduces the second zombie of this world that can block specific attacks, Parasol Zombie. Instead of blocking straight shot attacks like Excavator, she blocks catapult attacks. Are you starting to see the problem now? We don't have any plants yet that can reliably deal with both of these zombies at the same time, which means we'll need a type of pea shooter and catapult plant for every level here on out. One to deal with parasols, and the other to deal with excavators. And if you're thinking that doesn't sound bad, well, Day 8 gives us puff shrooms. But because this single zombie is in the level, this level's impossible because puff shroom can attack excavator zombie. On the other hand, Day 9 is completely possible. If Spike Rock had a back, I wonder if he'd be broken carrying all these damn conveyor belt levels. Plant all of your Endurians at the very back so they don't take up conveyor belt room and don't attack zombies. And plant your Spike Rocks just enough in the back to stall. If you need some quick Spike Rock math, 1 is enough to kill as many basic zombies as the game sends out, while 2 is enough for conehead zombies. Save your plant food for killing bucketheads, preserve your lawnmowers for as late as possible, and save the single cherry bomb you're given until the very end. Day 11 introduces bug zombies. Time to see if Tallnut shines once again. And you know what? Let's bring Squash for the hell of it. Not that it would be too game-changing. Potato Mine does the same job if you don't have Squash. Turns out Tallnut does work against bug zombies. Squash had some strange interactions. And a kernel pulled sputter instantly kills bugs. Interesting. Repeater, Melon Pulled, and Spike Rock? This level is going to be more than possible. I don't know if this is really sad or really funny. Yeah, not a chance. Finally, a possible level. I forgot importers were a thing, to be honest. Let's try putting spike beads on the gold tiles and see if that stops them. Day 19 is the second Stalia tutorial level. Moving on. Okay, but what do you expect me to do about that up there? Although, even I could admit that Toadstool's design is too good to not be a premium. Day 22 introduces trap tiles. And this level is actually possible. Let me show you how to take these guys out. Day 23 introduces Relic Seeker zombies. So I'm gonna try switching up my strategy for cheaper damage alternatives. Although, I don't know why all these new gimmick zombies have to have more health than their variants. It's the first wave, man! Despite not telling me, Day 25 is a locked and half loaded level. Thankfully, I think I could work with it. Gold Leaf cost 80 sun? What the f- How much health does bro have? Day 27 just drops turquoise skull zombies like they're nothing. And to be honest, they are nothing. But there's been a severe lack of gold tiles in the lawn due to us having Gold Leaf. Day 28 is impossible. Wait. Oh yeah! The first level in this challenge that can be beaten with just sunflowers. Hold on. There we go. Done. Day 30 is the first Molt Colony level in a while. Well, that's one way to start a level. You know, there was a reason this world was ordered after Far Future. And Dark Ages. And Big Wave Beach. And Frostbite Caves. Anyways, that level was horrible. Day 31 is another impossible gimmick level. And we're at Zomboss once again. Which I was hoping to beat due to these trap tiles in the lawn. But the lack of PvZ1 plans and the trap tiles not actually damaging Zomboss means we'll have to get through this like the last Zomboss. And it's not that hard. More annoying than anything because he won't stop destroying my plants. But finally, Far Future. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually looking forward to this world. I have awkward laugh in my script. I don't know how to do that. How do I? Before I begin this next section, I want to add that 2x gem offers helped me obtain Jalapeno. Only one more PvZ1 Genie implant for me to get before I've got them all. Oh, and if you're wondering which offers I'm doing, podcasts and visiting websites. Everything else is either unreasonably difficult or possibly a scam. Alright, let's get into it. Day 1, baby. Far Future introduces power tiles, which is probably the most fun world mechanic. It's always been a tradition for me to bring Pea Shooter here. Let's just get through these first levels quickly. I've been looking forward to getting here since Pirate Seas. Day 2 introduces Shield Zombie. Might be a bit of a problem without Laser Beam, but we could damage them directly with spikes. Or we can deal enough damage to the shield to deactivate it temporarily. Day 3 isn't important, but what's important is that we finally got a new PvZ1 plant. I have been waiting so long to get Blover. The amount of tech we can do with them in previous worlds and from here on out will be incredible. Day 4 introduces a new objective, survive while some bombs fall. It's pretty easy, but I'm almost tempted to bring Blover from every level from here on out. It's really good. And Day 5 introduces Robocone zombies. I'm a bit worried about how this world is going to play out in the later levels, but I won't think about that now. Locked and loaded, huh? This world was originally released after Wild West, so there should be no shortage of PVZ-1 plants. Shit. Well, that was easier than I thought it was gonna be. I love Blover Cheese so much. Fun fact, Far Future is the last world in this game to have its Gargantuar stage be on day 8. As for the level itself, well, it was worth a shot. Day 9's the first don't have more than X plants level since Wild West. I will admit though, getting EM Peach from this level is a bit of a red flag. In fact, I think this will be the first time I've played through this world without using EM Peach. Day 10 introduces the Discotron 3000. Blover practically invalidates the zombie. It's not like I'm never gonna have 50 Sun lying around for one. I also have yet to change my strategy for this world. Might I remind you that this world was ordered after Frostbite Caves and Lost City? Day 11's the last stand level. I was gonna use Wintermelon, but I swapped them out for Kernel Pole last minute. My strategy wasn't as good as I was hoping, but if you can time using Blover against the bot swarms, you should have no problem. Day 13, Mecha Football Zombie. Yeah, they're strong, yeah, they're annoying, so I'll just avoid taking my chances with them. Protect the Citrons? I'm glad I bought him this goofy ass hat even though I'm not allowed to use them. Day 16 is most likely impossible. The conveyor doesn't give us enough spike weeds and all of these zombies have extremely high health. And finally, we straight up have to use Magnifying Grass in order to get past the first zombie on day 17. But even if we didn't, Magnifying Grass is our only attacker for this level. Produce 6,000 sun? Actually, that wasn't too bad. Plus, it was fun assembling this army of melon bolts. Day 20 is an incredibly interesting level. We have to protect the Starfruits. Starfruit's a PVZ-1 plant, which means that we can use them. But at the same time, they were a premium Turncedium plant, like Torchwood. If I'm allowed to use Torchwood though, I feel it's only fair to let myself use Starfruit. Plus, when are we gonna get the chance to save a PVZ-1 Cedium again? So for this one level, let's make an exception to our rules and have some fun. It's not like this level is incredibly difficult anyways. Snoopy and Chomper have shown significantly more power since they've been buffed. Snoopy has a chance of firing a pea that freezes zombies, and Chomper can now devour up to 3 zombies before needing to digest. Interesting. Definitely nowhere near as overtuned as Torchwood, but I guess it's enough to stand out against their counterparts. Either way, we unlocked Mower Launch, the last unlockable trophy in this game. Really wish the premium trophies were implemented across the game's world for free, but whatever. Day 22 is the last stand level in this world. I had something going, but I sorta lost it around the end. Still beat it though. And the last level worth bringing up is Day 24, the third and final Sun Bomb level. Not because this level is hard or anything, but I just wanted to bring up how slow and boring Sun Bomb stages are to me. And finally, Zomboss. You'd think this level would be possible coming after Wild West, but the only plant I have access to is Blover. With Laserbeam and Citron though, this fight is incredibly easy. Also, the amount of power tiles you can get from the conveyor belt must be bugged because this is insane! Far Future was much easier than the last 2 worlds. The highlight of this world was getting Blover, but that happened about 22 levels ago. Anything after that is sort of a blur. Yeah, there are some high health zombies, but there are bigger threats ahead of us. So, why don't we get to the interesting parts, with...
There are plenty worse places to be than the Old West. I could have ended up in the Dark Ages.
Dark Ages, the only night world in this game. Which is a bit of a shame, as Neon Mixtape Tour shares the same night background, and the fact that it debuted after the Summer Nights event. Anyways, night 1 is easy. We can use Gravebuster once again, along with Sunshroom. Sunshroom having a 3rd growth phase makes them an excellent sun producer. I also have Hypnoshroom, the last PVZ-1 Gemium plant I had to buy. Night 2 lets us use Puffshroom. I don't mind the whole limited time mechanic for balancing, but it does mean that using Puffshrooms requires a lot of attention and maintenance. The plant food effect is sick though, as with Hypnoshroom. At this point I'm just using them for fun. They're not anything game breaking in terms of the challenge. I decided to replace Potato Mine for Puffshroom. While I can use them to kill basic zombies, they also serve as attackers for Graves while I use Gravebuster to take out the sun or plant food Graves. Graves will also continue to spawn, along with Necromancy, which spawns zombies from Graves akin to the first game. Night 4 is one of the few conveyor belt levels where every plant is usable for this challenge. This level is more than possible. Just be sure to save Hypnoshroom for high health zombies and to take out the graves and you're good. Man, plants are being given out like candy. I've been looking forward to using Fume Shroom again. Jester Zombie isn't not a threat, but even if we couldn't use Fume Shroom, I'd still have Spikeweeds to rely on. Puff Shroom, on the other hand, is starting to lose its viability. The limited time gimmick is making me not want to hold up a Puff Shroom defense, along with their lower health. Night 6 is a last stand level. Bucketheads continue to degrade the walnuts, but the setup held up. With Fume Shroom's piercing damage, crowds are not a problem. As for Sunbeam, I can't use him, which also means that I can't edit a compilation of him redeeming himself in a difficult level like Cabbage Pull. Go fish. Night 7 introduces night zombies, which are stronger than Bucketheads. One practically ate a walnut whole. This strat may also be a bit too expensive, but I keep wanting to give Wintermelon a try. A locked and loaded level, huh? Psh, this ain't a locked and loaded level. This is just my loadout for night 1. And we got another new goal. Survival evil potions boost zombies. Thankfully, a potato mine can take out any size zombie. And even though Wintermelon against Jester Zombie is risky, that chill splash damage is real nice. And now we're halfway through the world. Fast, huh? Night 10 starts easy. Then it gets a little harder on the middle, and by the end, it's a make or break situation. I could not believe I pulled this off. I seriously lucked out putting my potato mines here at the start of the level. This level isn't impossible, but it's quite challenging. Also, every plant can be used once again. Let's move on to part 2 of Dark Ages. Night 11 introduces wizard zombies. Not good, but not horrible, or at least not yet. They're slow and take quite a bit to attack again, and you can plant Spikeweeds underneath them right after they get their first attack in to get some good damage off them. On the other hand, graves are starting to get more obnoxious. They're starting to interfere with my setup, and having Necromancy 4 seconds after spawning them is a bit of a dick move. Night 12, keep the Puff Shrooms alive. I lost track of them halfway through before getting this really funny game over text, which technically means that this is a unique level gimmick. The game also reminds you that using plant food on Puff Shrooms resets their life spawn duration the second time around. This level isn't hard, but there's a lot of extra flair to this level that I wasn't expecting. Night 13 is the first impossible level in this world. Being the peanut tutorial stage, the conveyor belt gives you 5 Fume Shrooms, 3 Puff Shrooms, and about 40 million peanuts. You can make it to the last wave just fine, but your 5 Fume Shrooms aren't taking this out with their range. This level sucks. Night 14 is interesting. You have to produce 5,000 sun through Sunbeam and Sun Graves. Unfortunately, the game only gives us 37 graves, which only account for 3,700 of the necessary 5,000 sun to pass the level. Out of curiosity, I took some advice from a friend and tried imitating Gravebuster to see if taking out graves quicker would spawn more. Sadly, that wasn't the case. So, I pulled out Sunbeam at the last second to beat the level. I stalled these 2 nearly dead zombies for like 2 minutes straight in order to get enough sun back from Sunbeam, and it worked. I never have to play this level ever again. We also finally got my second favorite plant in the PvZ series, Magnet Shroom. Things start picking up hard in difficulty from here on out. I thought setting up a defense quickly was the way to go, but it seems that what we really need to do is stall. Squash or Potato Mine really help here. Keep up the magnets for king zombies, as they'll continue knighting peasant zombies to make them stronger. Take out graves as soon as possible, and prepare for the oncoming waves of zombies. I found that Repeater and Fume Shroom paired great here for graves plus crowd control. As long as your offense holds up, you'll be okay. Night 17 is an evil potion level. The grave summoning is stupid, and I deadass don't know what to do here when they throw jesters and wizards in the middle of my defense. But then again, I had so much sun accumulated that maybe I could have done something more here. Night 18 is the level I've been dreading all game. We don't exactly have the tools to stall, so we have to get a defense going immediately. Especially because Chronopult and Fume Shroom work well in groups, not alone. If there's anything this level teaches you, it's to prioritize winning over symmetry. Spam Fume Shrooms. Don't be afraid to replace other plants with them in a tight situation. Use Sun Shrooms as makeshift walls to stall zombies, and don't be afraid to use Chronopult's plant food in a pinch. With enough practice, you should be able to get through this stage in no time. Just don't expect any hand-holding. Night 19 is an average save our seats level. I just want to cap this off by saying that this was quite a good strategy for this world. And now, it's time to put our skills to the test and get the Zomboss Dark Dragon. Out of all the possible Zomboss fights in this challenge so far, this one is easily the hardest. Now, I can see the issues I was having in my first couple runs. Zomboss himself can't charge at you, so you have to stop his fire attack by stunning him with either Fume Shroom or Magnet Shroom's Plant Food effect. But, if you don't have Plant Food on you, or a boosted Magnet Shroom in your conveyor belt, you'll be losing 2 lanes. You cannot risk losing your plants in this fight, especially in the later 2 phases. You'll be getting nothing but peanuts all fight, and getting Magnet Shroom from the conveyor belt is completely RNG based, as it can be 10 seconds to upwards of what feels like 2 fucking minutes before another one comes up. The Imp Dragon attack gets stronger the longer the fight progresses, and if you don't have a strong offense to take care of Wizard Zombies late fight, you might as well restart. It's very obvious sometimes that certain levels were not designed for this challenge in mind. So, how did I beat this stage? Well, stunning Zomboss is undoubtedly the strat. You'll get lots of plant food in the first phase specifically, so you should be able to stun Zomboss enough with Fume Shroom and Magnet Shroom. Sometimes it even helps to keep Magnet Shroom on the lawn, to plant food them whenever you please with no risk of having to get lucky with the conveyor belt. As long as you're smart when you decide to stun Zomboss, you should be able to keep your offense alive and deal as much damage as you can. His fire attack also damages zombies, which means that you can let him attack long enough to scorch zombies before he starts burning your plants. As long as you pay constant attention to Zomboss, trust your defense enough to know when to just let them fight or help them out, and get a little lucky, you'll just barely get through it. Oh, I must have accidentally placed a peanut down here when I was trying to place and shovel. Well, I mean, he was pretty much dead. Just look at that health bar. Please don't make me play that level ever again. We did it! We actually did it! That boss was a pain in the ass, but Dark Ages was overall a blast to play through. Again, it's a really short world, and I do wish the difficulty didn't start peaking specifically around the end, but I'm really excited to start using every new plant that I got here in future worlds. What's next? Oh no.
Fresh? Barf me out? Home fries? We're in the 80s, dude!
We've arrived at Neon Mixtape Tour. I'm sure everyone's been waiting for this world, considering what the world's gimmick is. Music. On the other hand, having the mushrooms from Dark Ages opens up new possibilities for our defenses. Day 2 expands on the world's gimmicks by introducing Punk Zombie, who will react differently when their preferred music is playing.
So no head?
Check it out, we can use Cactus, who's undergone a serious upgrade since the first game. Day 4 gives us Sunflower and Spikeweed for some reason. I guess to suggest buying Cactus? The amount of Bucketheads has severely increased in levels though. I'd add Since we got Magnet Shroom, but remember there were 3 worlds released after Dark Ages before Neon Mixtape Tour. Okay, now I know that sounds bad, but Fatbeat's range isn't that good. If I can keep anything from entering their range, I should be able to prevent them from attacking. Except, that's easier said than done. I have a good strategy going here. If I could only get a little boost. Oh, that's right. There was possibly a better time for this, but with enough sun, this level is more than possible. No fat beats used. Day 6 is the celery stalker level, so we might be out of luck for this one. We do start getting fume shrooms later into it, but at the rate we're getting them, I doubt they take this out. It's night 13 all over again. Hey, check it out, we can now boost plants for gems. And we can check the Zen Garden whenever we want. Here's our chance to fight Glitter Zombie head on, who makes any zombie behind her mostly invulnerable. We don't have enough time to stall, so Fume Shrooms and Puff Shrooms are our ticket to a quick defense. Puff Shroom's getting his viability back, man. Dude, why are there so many costumes for Wintermelon? Oh. It's this level. This level becomes way too bloated for pea shooters to handle, and most of our mowers get used by the end. This level, just barely passable. On the other hand, Day 10 is far from passable. It's embarrassing how poorly plants from this world can handle the world's gimmicks. Fatbeat has short range and low damage, Celery Stalker stays out of the ground too long after attacking, and Time Warp, while good, isn't exactly a counter, rather a staller. MC Zombie is essentially a zombie cherry bomb with no end lag when their music is playing. Enough said. Do the programmers just forget to code in the level goals sometimes? Anyways, this level is possible. Time Warp is also 100 sun now. Does that mean we can use it in any world now, or what's the deal? Day 12 introduces Hair Metal Gargantuars, who is the first Gargantuar you really should install. And then there's Day 13. I tried using Fume Shrooms, Spike Weeds, hell, even Cabbage Pult's plant food, but that's just way too many bucket heads. No, yeah, that's totally f***ing fair. Guess we gotta do things the hard way too. If you want to count me using Snowpea as a win in this run, you may. Personally, I think it breaks the premium rule, but if this level is beatable in any other way, please let me know, because I swear I tried everything.
I hate my life.
I hate your life too, dude.
Hey, guess what? This level's actually possible, albeit with an extra seed slot. You'll be using both sunflowers and sun shrooms to maximize sun production. Stall as much as you can, and get some magnet shrooms set up early. Puff Shrooms are going to be your main line of defense. They're free, and their plant food is extremely good in a pinch. You can also use Cherry Bomb or Mower Launch in a panic, but it's worth having Cherry Bombs available once this wave of MC Zombies comes in. Finally, build up a column or two of Spike Weeds for Glitter Zombies. Your defense should suffice by the end if you've done everything correctly, and you'll have beaten this level without using your fat beats.
Congratulations!
You can't convince me this level was playtested. We've now arrived at part 2 of Neon Mixtape Tour. And with part 2 comes new zombies and a new plant for us to get. Breakdancer Zombie pushes zombies forward, even Gargantuars. We did get another PVZ1 plant though, Garlic. Although, I'm not sure why Garlic had to be introduced in this world. This clip shows about how well Garlic counters these zombies. Electric Blueberry tutorial, next. Holy crap, Friday Night Funkin', what brings you to Plants vs. Zombies? Been a while since one of these levels, huh? At least Blover works on zombies that have been pushed forward. Oh. This level was hell. Day 22 is another impossible conveyor level. So how about a fun fact? Do you know that the music in Neon Mixtape Tour are the only songs in the Plants vs. Zombies 2 original soundtrack to have official names? They were even uploaded to SoundCloud of all music platforms, under the artist PopCap Audio. Cool, huh? Day 26 is unfortunately the only impossible Save Our Seeds level in this world. On the other hand, Day 27 is a possible conveyor level, giving us Fume Shrooms, Cherry Bombs, and Garlics. Days 28 to 30 aren't worth talking about, and Day 31 is themed around using Electric Blueberry. Again. That leaves us with one last level, Day 32, Zomboss. Yeah. That went about as well as I expected. I don't want to get overly negative, but this boss is straight up shittily designed. There is zero balance here. nearly any thought to how these mechanics can work in a way that isn't frustrating. When I lose, I most of the time don't even consider it my fault. It's the game's fault for artificially increasing the difficulty in zombie spam, shockwave spam, and gargantuar spam without providing enough counters for it. Zomboss has 5 phases in this fight, 5 for each music type excluding ballad. The first is make or break, you're either holding up your defense or losing. The second is pop, and includes a lot more shockwaves from the amps. You gotta get through this phase quickly, otherwise you'll only have a handful of plants left on the lawn. The third is rap, and has the most dangerous selection of zombies, breakdancers and MC Zombie. With MC Zombie's plant destroying abilities and breakdancers' abilities to push them forward, it's obvious why this phase is as difficult as it is. The fourth is chiptune, and is easily the most overwhelming phase. Zomboss spawns arcade zombies, and arcade machines spawn 8-bit zombies. If you don't die to the zombie spam, then you'll make it to the final phase, metal. This is where the level goes to shit. This phase is straight up gargantuar and shockwave spam. You deadass cannot hold up a defense here, due to the frequency of shockwaves killing your plants and gargantuars. So just focus on taking out Zomboss instead, because once you get that last good hit on him, it'll be oh so satisfying. If it wasn't obvious from this compilation, this level is one of the furthest from possible with just PvZ1 plants. Garlic gets destroyed constantly, and the conveyor belt doesn't give you more than 3 cacti. 3 cacti! At the very least, Cactus's plant food is good for the fight, but 3 cacti and 2 garlic aren't taking all this, come on now. So that's it. Neon Mixtape Tour. I liked it. Was it difficult? Obviously. Did I have to bend my rules a couple times just to suggest that certain levels may be possible? Maybe. But you can't tell me this world isn't cool. It's got a really fun world mechanic, and each zombie is incredibly original and full of personality. Do the plants suck? Kinda, but hey, I'm not using them, so who cares? Will I ever attempt greatest hits? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you out of your mind?
Hello, Tyrannosaurus Alan. I'm filling my water with cum.
We're in the big leagues now. Jurassic Marsh. Day 1 isn't very gimmicky, so I decided to try out garlic. After all, there's nothing here that can instantly destroy it. Turns out it dies in about 3 bites depending on the zombie's eating speed, so that sucks. We've also got Jurassic fossil head zombies, who are essentially night zombies without removable armor. Beating Day 1 gives us Primal Pea Shooter, which has unwillingly reminded me that we won't have access to some of the best plants in the vanilla game. We'll have to work with what we have to counter dinosaurs. Unsurprisingly, Blover is a decent counter for raptors. As for Tallnut, we've got Melon Pults, but the rate we're getting them isn't fast enough to take out these Jurassic fossil head zombies. We'll have to use our grape shots. It doesn't help that we lose all our mowers at the first wave anyways. Considering that we can't push back zombies with Primal Pea Shooter, it may be more smart to keep our defense in the back. Twin Sunflower saves a lot of space, Fume Shrimp pierces everything, and if we stall enough, we can get our Walnut set up early. Still, no Primal Walnut is a serious disadvantage for me. Day 6 introduces the Stegosaurus. Thankfully, these zombies can still be blovered. Hey look, the flag texture's missing again. This strat is holding up surprisingly well, and I am not looking for new ones. Day 9's an impossible locked and loaded level. There's no way we're beating a Jurassic Marsh level with just Potato Mine and Sunshroom. This level also introduces pterodactyls, which can carry any zombie to the first column to attack our plants from behind. Interestingly, pterodactyls can't carry zombies for as long as they don't get past the first tile on the lawn. This is where Primal Walnut would have its use, but we can't really use it. Just goes to show how out of hand things can get without it in this world. Day 10 is our chance to find a good strategy against pterodactyls. Finding that good strategy, however, is near impossible with how little safe space there is in the lawn once all the dinosaurs roll in. And so, after some thinking, I decided, if the zombies want to make our lawn their stomping grounds, we might as well give them something to step on. Oh god. There is no way that just f***ing worked. Oh no. What? Who? What? You're telling me that on top of protecting the primal walnuts and dealing with the higher HP gargantuars, I've got to deal with pterodactyls as well? I don't think the all spikeweed strat is going to suffice without some adjustments. But what am I supposed to add? And then it hit me. Okay, now hear me out. Garlic is actually really f***ing good in this world. Yes, his health sucks. Yes, his recharge is dumb. Yes, he gets destroyed by anything that doesn't eat, which is like 80% of all the new zombies in this game. But when he shines, he shines. And you can call him a Polya condensate in this world because my god does he shine. As for day 16, and the crowd is mildly surprised! Me too, Dave. Me too. Day 18 introduces the T-Rex, who's probably the most balanced dinosaur in terms of its ability, as the speed-up effect wears off once the zombie interacts with the plant. I'm also now ready to say that if you attempt this challenge yourself, consider buying Squash as your Gemium. It and Cherry Bomb have been incredible since the moment I obtained them. How in the world am I supposed to... Oh, right. Seems easy enough. Yep, that was easy enough. Well, you didn't believe me? Jurassic bullies aren't more than just tanky zombies. Without access to Primal Pea Shooter, I'm not threatened by his special ability. Also, what is the zombie spam? Last stand. Our strat seemed fine, but there's nowhere we're taking this out, so lawnmower time. This strat is getting harder to keep up. For those who complained about Mecha Football Zombie, I raise you, Ankylosaurus. Pushes zombies all the way up to the second column if there isn't a plant in the way to stop it. And even then, it pushes the plant back one space. I found a very unorthodox way of beating this level, but it's worth noting that the level didn't send a single Ankylosaurus in the top lane. Now this is what I was worried about. Pterodactyls and Ankylosaurus. If we have to let all our lawnmowers beat the level, then so be it. That's the worst possible set of dinos you could have given me. Actually, wait. At least I'm finally finding a use for jalapeno. I don't know why I'm surprised 9 worlds in. And, as per tradition, day 31 is impossible. Come on now. That's cheating. So glad to be nearly done with this world. And now, day 32. Despite all the difficulties, this fight is surprisingly easy due to Primal Pea Shooter's constant stunning. What's he doing? Got him. Alright, I'm tired of waiting. And so, that concludes Jurassic Marsh. Honestly, this world was just a constant reminder of all the cool plants from this world that I can't use later. Of course, there were also the dinosaurs. Everything except the pterodactyls and Ankylosaurus were fun to deal with. It's really cool finally finding a use for garlic, but I feel like I've been bouncing between the same 2 strategies all world just because they were the most optimal to use. And while that's good and all, there's a lot more fun in chaos. And, as we're approaching the last 2 worlds in this challenge, I'll be expecting a lot more chaos. Here's what you've been waiting for.
Backyard beach, a backyard beach. Nothing's out of reach, we got a backyard beach.
Big Wave Beach, the only water world in this game. Whoa, deja vu. Anyways, water means lily pads, limited dry space, and worst of all, no spike weeds. Fun fact, Big Wave Beach is the only world in Plants vs. Zombies 2 to have 2 variants of basic zombies, Pompadour and Bikini Zombies. The types are coming in and out, but there's nothing to worry about. Day 3 gives us Chomper. If we're going by the Starford and Cactus rule, this level is technically possible as the game gives me Chomper to use. I am interested to see how much easier or harder these levels become after the Chomper buff. Also, once again, every plant is usable. Low Tide. Reminds me a bit of Necromancy from Dark Ages, but not as bad? If it is just imps, that is. Surely they wouldn't throw anything too strong in the middle of my defense, right? Slowest level in Big Wave Beach. Oh, I see where you're going with this. Okay, cool, I guess. Wait, what? Holy sh**, I got so distracted by that. What is the programming on this plant? Was it always coded like this? Day 6, locked and half-loaded. I'm glad we can use all the plants in this loadout, but pea shooters? Really? Maybe we should bring a catapult plant for snorkel zombies. Yeah, this plant is absolute ass. We're really throwing everything out on the table, huh? Oh yeah, this level. Why are the seed packets like that? I swear the seed packet textures were fine before. Day 9 starts to limit us. I tried saving space with my defense because I wasn't sure how close or how far the low tide would be from my house. Puffshroom was actually really good here. Good for damage and for saving up sun. Also, don't be afraid to shovel up plants if you can replace them with something better. We get so close to beating this one, but I don't think Pea Shooter and Tangle Kelp are going to cut it. Especially not with Tangle Kelp's wonky hitboxes. Oh, now you give me more Pea Shooters. Maybe it is worth giving this level another shot. Well, we finally got another Pea Shooter. One Pea Shooter a little too late. I think we have another Frostbite Caves Day 21 situation, where the level is unbeatable without better RNG. As it stands, I think this is the best we can do. Good riddance. Locked and half-loaded, and the introduction of Surfer Zombie. They're fast on the water, have lots of health, and can inconsistently destroy my plants with their surfboards. This is gonna be rough. Good start. You know, how about we give these plants a try? I'm gonna say it. I fuck with this strat, that was incredible. Slowing zombies through splash damage really is a powerful effect. Oh yeah, time to see if Buff Chomper solos. Yep, he literally solos. Considering that's potato mines we're protecting, this level becomes a glorified don't let the zombies trample the flowers stage. Good place to do that. How is it taking me this long to realize the power of Melon Pulse in this run? Ah, here we are, the infamous Day 16. Taking into account that we have walnuts, lily pads, tangle kelps, and a buffed chomper, this could work out. Yeah, it doesn't seem like we're getting the RNG we need for this. It doesn't help that even with the plants we're given, this level is still stupid hard. No comment. Unsurprisingly, Day 16 is another L we've just gotta hold. We're now halfway through Big Wave Beach. Hooray! Also, it was 1 AM when I passed this level, and I accidentally leveled up Tangle Kelp in the Almanac. Great. To be fair, I'll only be using them in this world, and its level 2 stats are much different from its level 1 stats. I'm just glad this accident happened in part 3 rather than parts 1 or 2. Anyways, Day 17. This fucker doesn't need an introduction. You all knew he was coming. Just take him out as quick as possible. A single octopus can make a huge difference. Walk it out tutorial. Skip. Tangle Kelp being level 2 still pisses me off though. Squash, you fucking idiot! This single octo zombie has been alive long enough to take out everything in its lane. At least the mower can take out the octopi, which actually surprised me. Worst comes to worst, the melon's plant food effect targets octopi just as much as the ice blocks in Frostbite Caves. Let's go! I'm never gonna play this! Homing Thistle tutorial. What is happening here? And Day 22 introduces Fisherman Zombie. At last we've arrived at the peak of this sandy mound of anguish and misery. It's all downhill from here. Puffshrooms are excellent bait to Fisherman Zombie. Plus, if you plant food Puffshroom, any Puffshrooms that are enclosed by octopi will activate their plant food effect once the octopi is destroyed. Day 23 has us protect the banana launchers, which is actually possible so long as we don't fire them. Are you kidding me? Whatever, it's a first time tutorial. Let me just try replaying the level. Okay, so I'm just gonna beat this stupid level under my challenge restrictions. Technically, this level is impossible because the game forces you to use Banana Launcher at the start, but if you think that shouldn't be the case, then take this level's possibility as you will. Wait, what? So this level is possible then. Just restart the level after playing through the tutorial and you won't have to do it again. Okay? This level's not even that hard. Stop playing with my emotions, game. I don't think we've had this goal since, what, Pirate Seas? I can't even blame the game for this one. I panicked. Actually, yes I can. Why doesn't the game stop you from planning anything that goes over your sun limit like in any other brainbuster? I thought I wrote, "I'm a god among men" in my notes after winning. But it turns out I wrote, "I'm a god among us," so... Yeah. Banana walnut.
That's the joke.
You suck, McBain!
Day 28. Don't lose more than 5 plants. You know, I'm beginning to wonder how worth it'll be to try this level over and over again. Dealing with the first wave is fine, but anything after that is so terribly designed. Tell me, why in a level with about 9 fisherman zombies and a gargantuar, should I be expected to not lose 5 plants? I get that Infinite's plant food practically invalidates fisherman zombie, but if anything, that makes me feel worse because I can't use the single plant that makes this level a cakewalk. If it wasn't obvious by the footage, the melon strategy was only getting me so far, so I thought to experiment with everything I had. Chill, fireballs, butter. I will say that chill seemed to be the way to go, and Tanglekelp's plant food effect was pretty great here, even at the expense of losing a plant. With every attempt, I was getting closer, and closer, and closer, and closer, and closer, until... he broke the lily pad. The lily pad. Wait. I don't need premium plants. I don't need snow pea, or chomper, or cactus, I guess. Why pay for a solution to this level when I have access to the most busted, free-to-play mechanic in this game? Where's your savior now, Big Wave Beach? You didn't need a buff chomper! You needed a nerf sunshroom! Oh. We did it. Cool. Day 29, last stand. I need more than just one column of defense thanks to this bastard, along with a lot of lily pads. You know what? That's about as far as I'm getting, so I'm just rolling with it. Impossible. Thank God I don't have to record footage for this level. Do you know how much footage I have for day 28 alone? Fuck this world. And day 31 is impossible once again. What a surprise. Finally, we're at Zomboss. And if the game had given us Chomper over Homing Thistle, I might have had a chance with this boss. But as it is right now, we can't beat this level with just PVZ-1 plants. Outside of that, however, this boss is surprisingly easy. Banana launchers and bowling bulbs go a long way, especially with the high volume of plant food that you get from this level. It also wouldn't be a Big Wave Beach level without Tanglekelp being bad in some way, so there's that as well. Either way, this level is over about as quickly as it starts. Sweet, merciful end. Big Wave Beach was hell to get through. I enjoy water as a mechanic in the first game, and there are elements of it that I enjoy in the second game as well. But I swear, certain levels just don't know how to tone down their mechanics to make them challenging in a fun way. Zombie spam is also a huge problem in this world, paired with the fact that nearly every zombie starts appearing in levels by the last couple days. Even when they really shouldn't from a gameplay perspective like in day 28. Every one of this world's special zombies are incredibly powerful on their own, let alone in groups or, I don't know, in the middle of your defense. Oh well, at least I got Lilypad and Tanglekelp. We have every freemium Plants vs. Zombies 1 plan in our arsenal, and then some. Time to take them back where everything started, in...
Here we are in the future, and it's wrong.
Modern day, the final world. Don't be fooled by this lineup. This world encompasses every aspect of the previous 10 worlds. Well, except one. Both directly and indirectly. Most levels have a pretty obvious theme from the start, but others are a bit more abstract. The challenge of this world, outside of anything appearing, is going to be finding a strategy general enough to deal with anything appearing. But, being the first day, we don't have to stress out too much. Day 2 spawns big wave beach portals. Fume shrooms are probably our best bet, but I found they get overwhelmed a bit easily. Day 3 introduces Newspaper Zombie, who really doesn't like his newspaper ripped. But unless we start getting something different, I think we're out of luck in terms of the challenge. Interestingly, all zombies from Neon Mixtape Tour work without their respected jams playing. That's not scary at all. Day 5 is where the world starts directly playing around with zombie types. For example, we have Parasol Zombie, which should roll out using catapult plants. But with Fume Shroom, we have a reliable primary attacker while Wintermelon slows the crowds. It also dawned on me that we can finally use Spikeweed again. Let's go! Why is he so damn fast? There we go. We've got to produce 4,000 sun, but we've got gold tiles. So that's why the tiles are so far up. Yeah, I think I gotta stall a little more. These zombies don't mess around. Maybe it's just the excitement of the final world, but I've gotta stay focused and not do this. Day 7 is where things start to get more chaotic. I brought Spikeweed due to Octozombies' similarities to Wizard, but the risk doesn't seem worth the reward. Especially when killing Octozombie doesn't take out the octopi. Day 8 is Beghouled, or Candy Crush if you're a nerd. Lightning Reed being here makes this level impossible by default, but I still want to have fun by only using PvZ1 plant upgrades. That's not what I wanted to do. What the fuck was that? Victory Potatoes 2? Day 9's an impossible locked-in loaded level, and the introduction to balloon zombies. I thought I was doing fine, but this level got stupid overwhelming around the end for some reason. I don't know how one Gravebuster is going to take all this out. It's interesting facing different zombies with the right counters to them. Blover invalidates so much here. Fume Shroom's piercing damage is great for ice blocks, and Melon Pole is the cherry on top. I didn't even use the power tiles. Hey, we got Shadow Shroom. Also, the game auto-picks Garlic for some weird reason. Guess we should give this strat a try again? Honestly, that could have gone a lot worse. Newspaper zombies were rough to deal with, but I'd call this a success. Sorry, don't lose more than 10? What zombies are you throwing at me? Oh. Actually, none of these dinos are particularly bad. Never mind. There's no time to stall when dealing with excavator zombies. What am I supposed to do? Okay, it seems like insta-kills are the way to go. But if we couldn't lose more than, let's say, 5 plants though, this level would have been unreasonably difficult. Oh, another one of these. Holy shit, I've also got to make 150 matches. I'm just glad this wasn't Beghouled Twist, because I still don't know how to play that game 12 years later. Really adamant on sending out bucketheads, huh? In hindsight, upgrades made that a lot easier. Well, thanks for giving me Garlic again. Better than day 9. As for day 15, this might be doable. Oh no, imp cannons. I never thought I'd see them again. I'd try Tall Nut, but you know how that always works. This level's uncharacteristically nice though. Blover takes care of so much, even imps from the imp cannon. Be sure not to let them stay alive for too long though, unless you want to have to time Blover before the explosion. Either way, this level's more than possible. We've now arrived at day 16, the culmination of every Gargantuar stage we've beaten thus far. And, I'm not gonna lie, this level is insanely fucking stupid to not give us lawnmowers or even 1 plant food. Especially when we're dealing with this. If it wasn't obvious by now, we're not beating this level with just PvZ1 plants. Not with bad RNG, not even with really good RNG. If 2 Wintermelons can't take out 1 Gargantuar, that I'm not sure what else can. It doesn't help that this level just expects you to get lucky sometime. The run I won saw me getting Cold Snapdragon, a plant I didn't even know was possible to get until my 7th try. If there's any viable advice I can give you, it's to make the best out of your instance, and to prioritize killing Hair Metal Gargantuars over any other. With enough luck and good play, Day 16 will be yours. Eventually, of course. Day 17 is nothing too bad. For some reason, every Neon Mixtape Tour zombie functions the way they should except Arcade Zombie. Which, I'm not complaining about, but it's a weird oversight. Bro thought a grave would win against this. After Day 17, we've arrived at the halfway point of modern day. I know, after Day 17? Just keep that in mind for later. Zombie Bull Riders, huh? At least Tall Nut works against balloon zombies as well. Dude did not want to switch lanes. Day 19 is the escape route tutorial, who is probably the most original premium plant to date, and I'm glad it exists for its complexity alone. The escape mechanic is super cool, and although we can win with potato mines, for example, escape route itself is original plant for zombies too. You'd think that after carrying me for multiple worlds straight that I'd remember to bring Blover, right? Day 21 introduces All-Star Zombie, who is based on Football Zombie, and for the first time in this run's history, I don't think Fume Shroom and Puff Shroom are going to cut it against Newspaper Zombie. However, Melon Bolts, despite taking a while to set up, are actually quite effective. Except here, don't look. God damn it. You're not even trying. This level's also weirdly easy. I thought the gimmick was that you had to make less matches because the zombies they sent out were harder, but that just didn't seem to be the case. I didn't know Big Wave Beach had 33 days. Day 24 introduces Superfan Imps, who can get kicked forward by All-Star Zombies to destroy my plants. But unfortunately, this mechanic isn't as well utilized as it could have been, so they're quite a forgettable threat. Okay, so concept-wise, I love this level. But the fact that only Intensive Carrot can be used makes this one impossible by default. I did play through this level only reviving PBZ1 plants, and it went pretty well. Until I remembered that slider tiles were a thing. Why is Modern Day so obsessed with Pianist Zombie? They can kick floating zombies forward? Damn, the more you know, I guess. I think Modern Day is the only world to have more than 3 unique Brainbuster levels. I fumbled that guard kill so bad. Day 30 is the final objective level in this run, and it's probably one of the hardest levels in Modern Day. Thankfully, I found a strategy that seemed to work. Executing that strategy, however, comes with its difficulties. You're going to want to stall as much as possible. The flowers make stalling a bit harder to do, but if you can get 3 rows of Sunshrooms, 4 walnuts, and at least 1 winter melon before the first wave, then you should be ready for what's to come. Start building up your Fume Shrooms and replace your Sunshrooms for more winter melons. Having something to chill every lane is very important, as there won't always be groups of zombies to rely on for splash damage. And, most important of all, pay attention to your walnuts. The moment one disappears for longer than a second is about how long it takes for the zombies to trample the flowers. Don't be afraid to use other plants to stall in a dire situation. And I do mean that. With enough practice and skill, this level's more than possible. No Zen Garden, no extra seed slot, no nothing. And finally, we have Day 31, which isn't an impossible locked-in loader level for once. So hey, why don't we beat this level using the most important plants in our run? Well, it was possible, but it didn't really hit as hard as it could have. How about we instead go out with style? And with that, we finally arrived at Zomboss. Do you remember when I mentioned the halfway point after day 17 instead of day 16 earlier? Well, that's because modern day consists of 3 Zomboss fights, meaning this world has 34 days over the usual 32. This is the final challenge of our adventure. Let's jump into day 32 and see what'll happen. Well, this certainly rings a bell. If the fight is giving me plants from Wild West, it sure isn't in a rush to give me any winter melons. Let's try that again. And now we're in ancient Egypt, with plants from Pirate Seas. If it wasn't obvious by now, the game is mixing up previous Zomboss battles with plants from what would be the next world. So, the ancient Egypt fight is giving me plants from Pirate Sea, the Pirate Seas fight is giving me plants from Wild West, etc. And restarting the level shuffles what fight is going to appear. In the case of day 32, the possible fights that can appear are in ancient Egypt, Pirate Seas, and Wild West. For the sake of the challenge, I'm gonna see how many of these fights are possible with just PVZ1 plants. Just remember that if at least one fight is possible per day, then that day is possible. And in order for a day to be impossible, every fight cannot be beaten with our challenge restrictions. With that explanation out of the way, let's give these fights another shot. Seems like luck really wasn't on our side the first time, because we finally got Wintermelon. I wasn't kidding when I said that slowing Zomboss makes him a lot easier to deal with. You also get a lot more melon pulls in this fight thanks to the added difficulty and removal of minecarts. Of course, this means a higher volume of Gargantuars, but Split Pea and its plant food effect really take care of them. I'm really happy that Split Pea got to have one last hurrah before the challenge ends. You've still got to deal with Split Peas and lightning reeds building up in your conveyor belt, so knowing when to place and shovel is incredibly important so they don't attack. If you can keep up a strong enough defensive melon pulse, then this fight will be yours. But wait, we've still got another hurdle to overcome. Believe it or not, the fight in ancient Egypt is a lot harder than in Pirate Seas. For one, Zomboss's missile attack and Tomb Raiser zombies spawn graves, which can severely overwhelm your lawn given enough time. The second issue is also an issue of the original Pirate Seas battle, and that the plants given are only strong in numbers. You have to prioritize killing Tomb Raiser zombies as quickly as possible through Spikeweed and Spikeweed's plant food effect. The sooner they die, the less graves they can spawn, which is crucial for Kernelpole and 3-Peter to perform their best. On the topic of 3-Peter, be sure to use this plant food effect to stop Zomboss's charge attack, as the damage it does to Zomboss directly is equivalent to that of a cherry bomb. This fight is going to be a lot of work in the beginning, but if you can make it to later phases, then your defense should suffice enough to take out Zomboss as soon as you can. And before you know it, it's another fight down. As for Wild West, there aren't any plants given that we can use, so the fight just isn't possible. I do want to mention that Zomboss can spawn Carthead zombies and Rodeo Legend zombies in this fight, which the player wouldn't have encountered unless they played the optional Wild West expansion levels. I get why they spawn in the context of what plants are given, but also fuck you, game. A present, huh? Cool, I guess. I can make 4,000 coins in a couple days though, so I mean, I don't know. Day 32, despite only 2 out of 3 fights being possible, is possible overall. Day 33, however, isn't as lucky. I hate it here. Unlike the original Frostbite Caves fight, we aren't given 3-Peters, which means that the only plan we can use is boosted Lilypad. As for Dark Ages... What? No Peanut? We can't even use Lilypad or Tanglekelp, as if they even helped us in the original fight. Only one fight remains for us to try, and thankfully, we might be okay. Because Dark Ages didn't even give me this many puff shrooms. That shield ain't protecting you from this.
Smoke 'em.
Easiest Zombot fight yet. I don't even think he spawned any machine other than Shield Zombie and Gargantuar Prime. At the very least, 1 out of 3 fights means day 33 is possible as well. And now, for the moment you've all been waiting for. Day 34. Unlike the previous 2 days, day 34 has 4 different Zomboss battles that we can get. Beginning with Frostbite Caves, well... Yeah. I was going to praise this level for not giving you any fire plants, which meant that you had to beat it the way I had to beat Frostbite Caves, but nah. Bro's having the time of his life though. As for the next Zomboss, Garlic's killing it again. Neon Mixtape Tour is the most consistent Zomboss fight with its original version. We still get Cactus, and what's even better is that we're given more than 3 of them. The bad part is that this level is still designed like ass. Out of every fight so far, this one could have done the most with having its phases switched around, because starting by increasing movement speed means that Buckethead and Punk Zombies are guaranteed to reach our lawnmowers before Cactus can kill them. Even with Cactus boosted, Punk Zombies still get close enough to make Cactus hide, and you still need good enough RNG to get Cactus consistently enough to kill zombies and damage Zomboss. But hey, let's say you managed to get through phase 1 out of 5. Well, be ready for Shockwave and Glitter Zombie spam that can take out your entire setup if you're unlucky enough. The closest attempt I've had so far lasted until phase 3. And seeing as I already lost, I decided to put those 4,000 free coins to good use and see how much further I could have gotten. Unfortunately, it took a lot of power tosses just to suggest this level could be beatable. And so, until proven otherwise, it looks like the most possible Zomboss of day 34 will remain unbeaten legitimately. But there's still one more Zomboss left. For some reason, the modern day Zomboss is just the Jurassic Marsh Zomboss again. Whoa, talk about lazy design. Jokes aside, having to use shadow plants for the fight actually makes it fairly original. However, having to use shadow plants also makes this fight, and this level, impossible. Challenge aside, this fight is ridiculously hard. Phase 1 isn't horrible. It's not easy either, but Raptors and Stegosauruses are manageable. Anything beyond phase 1 is some mix of annoying and completely unfair. For one, pterodactyls. How these stupid things got past balancing is beyond me. Second, Zomboss cannot chill out for the life of him. Anytime he isn't calling dinos or spawning zombies, he's firing lasers and destroying my plants. Which I know is what he does every fight, but it's a bit more personal in this fight. I've had attempts where I have nothing but a couple moonflowers on the lawn past phase 3, and sometimes he just completely destroys everything I put out. Which, you know, is really helpful to take out all of this. Seriously, I don't know if I'm just extremely unlucky, or if it's designed to be this way. Either way, this fight is only so fun. I didn't even mention the Ankylosaurus! My first winning attempt may have not been the most professional. I did eventually get it with better luck. But I'd say as the final Zomboss battle in Adventure Mode, it could have been a whole lot worse. We've done it. We've beaten Plants vs. Zombies 2 with just Plants vs. Zombies 1 plants. Maybe not right now, but in the grand scheme of things, nonetheless. I don't remember how far I got when I first attempted this challenge, but to say that I finally finished something I started a couple years back is definitely an accomplishment. 11 worlds, 317 levels, 20 unique Zomboss battles. I bet you've been looking forward to the final tally of possible and impossible levels. Well, get ready, because here it is. Out of 317 total levels, which includes the 5 tutorial levels and excluding any of the expansion levels, 243 levels are beatable with only Plants vs. Zombies 1 plants, and 74 are impossible with only Plants vs. Zombies 1 plants. However, a few impossible levels may be possible with better RNG, no boosted plants, or a different strategy entirely. The final totals aren't set in stone, so I implore anyone to give certain levels a try. I've linked a Google spreadsheet in the description with a list of every level I played, and it should be complete by the time this video releases, so go check it out. Alright, let's get things started. My name is the original Alex, and for the past year or so, I've been the one and only original Alex. Well, I mean, there was also this guy, but original? Come on, that's not even a word. A lot has happened in that year or so. I was like, alright, I'm actually gonna finish making a video. Boom, Cookie Run tier list. Alright, I'm on the board. Part 2, Part 3, Part 3.5. I couldn't render the whole video as one whole part. Next thing you know, I'm picking up an old project of mine. Can you beat PvZ2 with only PvZ1 plants? Started it back in 2020, but lost a bunch of notes from it. So here I am, replaying through the whole game again. Edit a part 1, and the video explodes overnight, I'm serious. Even now, the video is still performing well, and I'm blown away that people like something I made this much. And so, I'm feeling motivated. Finished up the series, made some different types of content, My Singing Monsters, Polygoons, Parappa, Minecraft. But even after all that, I know my work in Plants vs. Zombies 2 wasn't done just yet. And for the last 5 months, I've been grinding. Gem plants, I got them. Seed plants, I got them. I was forced to play Arena for Scaredy Shroom, and I got into Silver League from what feels like complete luck. But to make a long story short, I got what I need, and I'm ready for anything. I highly recommend watching any of the previous parts if you haven't already, but if you don't want to, that's cool as well. This is Can You Beat Plants vs. Zombies 2 with only Plants vs. Zombies 1 plants? Part 4. Here we are, back in Plants vs. Zombies 2. A lot has changed since the last time I recorded. I've got a lot more coins, a lot more gems, and I even have mints, as unnecessary as they are to the challenge. I also have all the plants I wanted for this challenge.
No, not you, Seamus.
Ah, poo.
You probably got some questions about this roster, but don't worry, all will be explained later. As for what levels we'll be playing, let me introduce you to expansion levels. Around the release of the infamous plant upgrade system, new levels were added to Ancient Egypt and Modern Day after their respective Zomboss fights. These levels were meant to take advantage of the upgrade system, offering harder levels to be countered by high-level plants. Only 6 of the 11 worlds got around to having expansion levels made for them, and eventually these expansion levels would be removed and made into timed events, where these levels can be played under a time limit to win gems. Then 10 levels became 8 levels for some reason, and here we are today. But no matter the case, I'm gonna beat all of them in this video. Buckle up for the hardest levels vanilla PvZ2 has to offer, as we make our way back to... Day 28 skips the pleasantries and puts us straight into a locked and loaded level. Thankfully, we're given enough to work with. Sunflower, Cabbage Pult, Gravebuster, Imitated Gravebuster, and best of all, Snow Pea. Snow Pea is especially useful here, because this level introduces us to Pyramid Head zombies, who have nearly twice the amount of health that Buckethead zombies have. This would be where leveled up plants have an advantage, but remember all, except these two, of our plants are still level 1. As for this level, placing sunflowers at the front lines really helps in gathering sun and building a defense. I originally tried to find a balance between Snow Peas and Cabbage Pults, but Snow Peas alone were enough to suffice. Just try and prevent graves from spawning by planting plants over where they'd spawn. Overall, Day 28 isn't that bad, and seeing as we're given Snow Pea, is possible. Oh boy. Oh? If we're getting Pults, then graves shouldn't be too much of a problem. Then again, we're gonna need a lot better RNG to get the Pults required to take out Pyramid Heads. We do start getting repeaters more than halfway through, but that's the problem. I'm not getting more than halfway through consistently. And it's not like Peapod's gonna make much of a difference at the pace we're getting them. This was actually the point where I decided that if I couldn't make it past 2 levels, that getting further without having all the plants I wanted for this challenge wouldn't be possible. But after coming back 5 months later, I was feeling confident. And I actually made it more than halfway through. With Peapod. Yeah, this level still wasn't going great. I decided to challenge myself by treating Peapods as pea shooters and repeaters, which was helpful in providing meat shields. But I wouldn't count myself beating it this way as possible. Peapod is Peapod. At the very least, we're in all new territory. I have no idea what to expect from every level from here on out. Let's jump into Day 30. Judging by this level's design, I assumed sandstorms would be frequent, and that we would have needed something that attacks backwards. And while a plant like Split Pea is helpful, they're not really necessary. Wintermelon is crucial to extinguishing flames and slowing crowds, while sunshrooms in the front provide sun and a good defense. Try and be smart about your lawnmower usage as well, and you should be more than fine. Well, I hope you were smart about your mower usage when you still had the chance. Oh, that got bad fast. We don't have enough time to get any wintermelons out, the sandstorms are relentless, and graves keep coming out faster than we're destroying them. What can we do? I already teased our plant selection earlier, but now it's time to address them in the context of this challenge. As you already know, we have every adventure plant, torchwood, and the 3 gemiums, squash, jalapeno, and hypnoshroom. However, we also have all 4 premiums, snow pea, imitator, chomper, and cactus. So that bears the question, what plants have I spent the last 5 months grinding for? Well, for our PVZ-1 collection, those plants are starfruit, pumpkin, and the newly released scaredy shroom. And outside of our PVZ-1 collection, homing thistle, explodonut, ice bloom, gloom vine, and mega gatling pea. Quick note, this challenge was recorded long before ice shroom and sea shroom would have been added to PVZ-2. I'm not sure if I would have allowed ice bloom if I had known this information, but I'll leave it at that for now. That's 7 plants I had to grind over 1,000 total seed packets for. And believe me, it sucked. If PVZ-2's ad system worked like how it did in the Battle Cats, you bet your ass I would have grinded 250 ads in a sitting to unlock each plant one day at a time. 250 ads is baby mode. Do you know how expensive 11 draws are in the Battle Cats? So yeah, that's how I got all the plants I wanted. But how does this play into the challenge? Allow me to introduce to you all the 4-tier system. A system created by yours truly to categorize plants from most to least accessible. The plants in Tier 1 are the most accessible to anyone, and are the plants I'll be attempting to beat every level with unless I can't. The plants in Tier 2 aren't as accessible, but complete the PVZ-1 plant collection. The plants in Tier 3 are as accessible as the Tier 2 plants, but aren't entirely or exactly PVZ-1 plants. They're either based on a PVZ-1 plant, or function similarly to a PVZ-1 plant without requiring plant food. And finally, the plants in Tier 4 are the 4 premiums, which cannot be obtained without spending real money. Tiers 3 and 4 are interchangeable, but I value accessibility more than consistency in this case. And those are the tiers. An organized method in allowing myself to use cediums and premiums. Let me show you this tier system in action. Returning back to day 31, our Tier 1 plants just weren't doing the job. So I'm going to try using a Tier 2 and a Tier 3 plant to beat this level, which are Scaredy Shroom and Ice Bloom. While it's a bit disappointing that Scaredy Shroom alone doesn't have any special gimmicks, the existence of a 25 Sun Pea Shooter is still a nice option, even if it doesn't work in every level. Scaredy's plant food effect is also ridiculously good, which I'm looking forward to experimenting with in time. And if you're wondering why I brought Ice Bloom, then that's why. I can't lie, I thought Ice Bloom was pretty awful when I unlocked them. You're expecting me to pay 200 Sun for what's essentially a slightly buffed Ice Shroom? I never even cared for Ice Shroom in the first place. What would make you think this is going to make me care at all? Well, with how much more Sun you get in PVZ-2, Ice Bloom makes for a pretty nice support late game. It's not designed to be an early game staller or a primary attacker, but that's okay because it does its actual job pretty well. This level is definitely beatable without Ice Bloom, but seeing how it trivializes the sandstorms makes it a candidate for the future. I was dreading one of these levels. But if we treat these like the fat beats in Neon Mixtape Tour Day 5, then I'd say we have a shot. Welp. I also forgot about the plant limit, so let's try that again. F you for making these assholes take up 2 plants, by the way. That's technically affecting the gameplay, which means that we can't let graves spawn there. And the zombies spawn in the second lane. Great. I believe we have a problem. Well, a multitude of problems. But here's the biggest. We need Ice Bloom. And we need 2 of the same seed packet. So this level is going to require Tier 4 plants. We also just don't have enough time to set up winter melons. And killing zombies in the traditional way isn't as efficient. But this is Tier 4. We've got all our cards on the table here. Which plant can take out hordes of zombies in a limited planting space? Explodonut is the second most important plant in making this level possible. It's efficient, it's cheap, It allows for stalling, and it recharges in 10 seconds. However, it has one weakness. Explorer Zombie and its fast, bulkier variant Torchlight Zombie. How do we deal with them if we don't have enough time for Wintermelon? Snowpea. Affordable, has a chance of freezing, and blocks graves from spawning on these tiles. These three plants, along with Imitator, are crucial in completing this level without using Bonk Choy. But that doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Your run of this level could either be the same or different to mine. If the first zombie appears in lanes 2 or 4, restart the game because you're not going to have enough time to stall. You have to know when each sandstorm is going to appear, and where each sandstorm is going to appear, so that you can time your ice blooms accordingly. But sometimes, one ice bloom isn't enough. Sometimes 2 ice blooms aren't enough. Cherry bombs and jalapenos. And like with ice bloom, your timing has to be perfect. Otherwise, it's right back to the beginning. Sometimes the game fucks you over, by letting you plant over the limit when you shouldn't be able to. But having the strength to restart is what makes the difference between you and I. Because with enough practice, skill, and determination, anything's possible. Hardest level in the series so far. This looks weirdly easy. Oh. This bears the question though. Which plants could we bring alongside Wintermelon to effectively kill Gargantuars? Well, we can't afford a lot of damage. So how about we take another factor into account? Luck. I feel like I've neglected Kernel Pult all run. And it wasn't until that one Apple's Big Wave Beach Day 28 run when I considered its potential. And through stalling this guard long enough, we were able to chill it. I wound up making it to the end, but I just didn't get the luck I needed. However, with enough attempts, quick thinking, and a touch of luck, it's definitely possible. Here we are, the penultimate day. And I don't even know what to say about this one. I guess I got close? You don't even need to plant sunflowers, as you get more than enough sun falling from the sky to afford walnuts and cherry bombs consistently. However, the issue is how this level wants you to beat it. You have to stall this group of camel zombies so that you can blow up as many as possible with cherry bombs. The problem is that our walnuts don't have enough health to stall these camel zombies long enough. So how do we counteract this? By leveling up our plants like the game intended? Nah, we're boosting this bitch. And that boost gave our walnuts just enough health to stall these camel zombies long enough. Does that make this level technically impossible for our challenge? Well, yes. But hey, 2 out of 8 impossible levels ain't too bad. Especially when most worlds have a 4th of impossible levels. But with that, we're on to day 35. Zomboss. That is a horrible start. If you think one Repeater and Gravebuster is going to beat this, then maybe there's just a chance that you're an idiot. There, that's the only object show reference you're getting out of me. If day 29 was any indication, then you'll know that we only have level 1 plants to take all this out. But this plant selection isn't all that bad. Parsnip's plant food effect is crazy good against Pyramid Heads. Sapfling's slowness is always nice to have. Celery Stalker's DPS is as great as I remembered. And Repeater and Bloomerang are the icing on top. Day 35 is surprisingly possible. Well, it's impossible, but it could have gone a whole lot worse. And with that, the Ancient Egypt expansion is complete. A lot of this expansion's difficulty arises solely from day 32, as I believe that's the hardest level I've beaten in this game thus far. But every other level was decently fair. I was really expecting to get steamrolled and having to call this challenge off somehow. But if I made it this far, then I'm excited to see how much further I can make it. Next stop?
Ahar, matey!
Being the easiest vanilla world next to Far Future, Pirate Seas definitely ramps up the difficulty for day 28. Not only are we limited to 2,000 sun and 15 plants, but the level has the balls to send out 2 Gargantuars in the first 2 waves. My original plan was to let the first Garg take on my mower so I had time to save up for Wintermelon, but by the time I had my first Wintermelon out, the level had already sent out 4 Barrel Roller zombies. Safe to say, Wintermelon wasn't cutting it, both in saving time and saving sun. So I had to explore other options. Luckily, I came up with an unorthodox strategy that did the job. I replaced Winter Melon for Melon Pult and Kernel Pult, which was cheaper and arguably stronger than Winter Melon with the right amount of luck. I also delegated the middle lane for sun production and substituted Walnut for Garlic. Finally, Puffshroom provided enough extra damage to help our catapults, and that's the play. In my previous attempts, I also experimented with timing Blover and Cherry Bomb to deal with the barrels, and that worked nicely as well. I'm telling ya, finally being able to use Blover in Pirate Seas is a gift. I don't know about this one, dog. Things were manageable at first, but this objective is incredibly ambitious for the amount of damage Kernel Pult deals. And that doesn't just apply to the objective either. There are so many high health zombies, and one explosion from the imp cannons are enough to end the run because Kernel Pult is horrible at crowd control. You can make it to the end pretty consistently, but by then, Kernel Pult gets extremely overwhelmed. So, it seems we have no other choice but to rely on a boost. Boosted Kernel Pult works wonders here, as having 100 sun on hand at all times allows you to permafreeze every zombie on screen. And given enough time, zombies go down one by one. Unfortunately, I can't imagine this level possible with our challenge restrictions without using a boost. But there you have it. This fucking music glitch is making me go insane. Day 30 is the perfect embodiment of what Pirate Seas would have looked like if I had access to world keys and adventure mode. Fumeshroom excels in crowd control. Winter Melon not only deals with imp cannons and barrel rollers, but chills the only lane zombies can come in from. And Blover? Apart from the basic zombies, Blover nearly invalidates every zombie in Pirate Seas. The only plant unaccounted for is Cherry Bomb, who's just as amazing, but requires getting through all of Pirate Seas to unlock them. Day 31 is a last stand level reminiscent of Day 22. The flowers in the middle disrupt a possible spikeweed strat. Believe me, I tried. Along with seagull zombies requiring a secondary attacker. We're also given a very limited amount of sun, and one explosion of the imp cannons could result in an imp landing right on our flowers with nothing we can do about it. I tried a lot of strategies. I even experimented with the Blover only run, which might have actually worked if I didn't have less than a second to time every Blover. But eventually, through what felt like complete desperation, I managed to come up with a strategy. It did require tier 3 plants, and I don't think Explodina was necessary, but this strat was foolproof. Scaredy Shroom and Gloomvine provided just the right amount of extra damage to keep our Winter Melons chilling the imp cannons. And by the time you reach the final wave, Scaredy Shroom's plant food effect clears out the rest. Seems like we'll just have to keep these zombies out of their detection range. Well, that went horrible. Zombies entering their detection range aside. This level was a load of horse. Our level 1 plants are just strong enough to deal with these hordes of zombies. It also doesn't help that the start of this level is based solely on butter RNG. Even past the first wave, you better hope your Kernel Pult's butter enough, because you need to use your plant food on Snapdragon to deal with the middle lanes. But hey, let's say you make it to the end. Well, you better clear out those barrelheads fast enough because you've got 2 Gargs to kill. These Rhodobegas can't even attack the Gargs. Why am I protecting these plants to begin with? And if your Kernel Pults aren't buttering enough, or if their imps get to the Rhodobegas, it's all the way back to the beginning. I've had runs where the difference between winning and losing was having to use 1 plant food on Kernel Pult to clear out these pelican zombies. That was it. That could have been the run. I know this level is possible. I've made it this far, I'm just not getting lucky enough. But this level isn't even possible for the challenge. Is it even worth doing it the hard way? Well, no. But that's the funny thing about luck. It kinda just comes to you. Insanity. Why has every conveyor level been this hard? Day 33 is interesting. In taking out all the flying zombies at the start, the level begins way earlier than I'm ready for. So we're gonna have to stall. If this single swashbuckler dies, it's a restart. We're also gonna need a cheaper strategy, because by the time we reach the first wave, there's an ensemble of zombies ready to kill us. If it's not the bucket heads, it's the barrel heads. If it's not the barrel heads, it's the barrel rollers. And so on. Thankfully, Scaredy Shroom makes for the perfect inclusion. Average damage with a cheap enough cost to allow us to save for wintermelons. Yikes, that is a ridiculously small amount of sun. I'm just gonna jump to tier 2 because we don't have very many cost-efficient plants. The plant loss restriction also limits us to 1 blover, so we'll have to be smart about when to use it. Well, that was bullshit. Guess we know what to use our blover on. Turns out that if we can chill the parrots, then we might have a chance to kill the parrots ourselves. So, with enough luck and plant food for our scaredy shrooms, day 34 is completed. And now, day 35. Good start. As nice as spikeweeds and jalapenos are, they aren't enough to beat this level alone. In fact, even the lightning reeds and the dandelions that were given to us aren't enough to deal with these zombies. Instead, I think we're supposed to use Charred Guard to knock groups of zombies back into Zomboss to kill them. Specifically Gargantuars, because man, does Zomboss love to spam guards in this level. But if Zomboss isn't jumping around like a maniac, then we're stuck fighting hordes of Gargantuars the old-fashioned way. And if it wasn't obvious, 7 lightning reeds and 3 dandelions aren't taking out this. Honestly, if it weren't for strokes of complete luck, I probably would have lost this level over and over again. But anything's possible with a little RNG. Upgraded plants? Bro, I kicked your ass with level 1 lightning reeds. Fuck outta here. Overall, Pirate Seas wasn't too bad. Sure, there were some hard levels, but nothing sucked quite as hard as day 32 of Ancient Egypt. Plus, the normal levels of this expansion were pleasantly easy with the right strategies. Let's settle up for... I'm not sure what to expect from Wild West. It's a pretty basic world with an underutilized mechanic. However, what I wasn't expecting was 2 epic quests. Day 28 is... a day. We can't really beat this level as intended, and even if I allowed Electric Pea Shooter and plant leveling, we can't even unlock EP without paying $5 first. The only thing more disappointing would be if I couldn't get 160 gems from... weak. Day 29 shouldn't be bad so long as we don't use our magnifying grasses. Wow. That wasn't bad at all. Quick, let's get out of here before the devs scale it to magnifying grass's power. That's a lot of minecarts. But if we play this out the way we did for day 29, we should be fine. And that's another one down. This is going surprisingly well. What? No, we lost our mowers dialogue? Yep. Well, if we have to use PVZ2 plants, we might as well drip them out. Wait, that's the only costume I have for Bonk Choi? He has like 50 of them! There we go. Now back to this Oh, there's the dialogue. This level involves a lot of micromanaging. You have to keep a close eye on the lawn at all times. Bonk Chois are always on the brink of death, and you cannot use Hurricane if there are zombies past the flowers. Thankfully, Stalia, Shadow Shroom, and Celery Stalker help a lot, and you're even given a generous amount of plant food, which I only use to stall this Conehead. Once you know what you're doing, day 31 is beatable. We were doing decently well with Wintermelon, but there just wasn't enough power in this setup. I tried switching out the use of Tall Nuts for Blowover, but it did about as well. Let's jump to tier 2. Scaredy isn't perfect here, but the minecart layout allows him to synergize you bitch! You also get a lot of plant food. Safe to say, we've got another one down. Day 33 is not awful, but we spend so much sun getting a defense going that it means we have to spam sun shrooms to afford wintermelons. And then there's day 34. The endangered plants should pose a challenge, but they're also 2 free wintermelons. Granted, you gotta stall heavy before the first wave, but even then, you can stall a Gargantuar indefinitely with any fast recharge plant so long as it's chilled. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Wild West really wasn't that bad. I mean, there's still Zomboss, but how much worse could that really be? Wild West Day 35. I've heard rumors of this one being the hardest level in the game, and not in a cool way. Poor design, not fun, generally unfair, and extremely luck-based are some phrases I've heard to describe Day 35. But I'll be the judge of that. After all, I've beaten some extremely difficult levels thus far. What'll make this one any different? Day 35 gives us Hypnoshroom, Walnut, Spikeweed, Electric Current, and Iceberg Lettuce. And of these plants, I'd say that we have access to the best ones. This fight is unique, in that we have to use hypnotized zombies to damage Zomboss. We're given ample resources to do so. Hypnoshrooms are common on the conveyor belt, and Zomboss provides a ton of plant food. This is actually not that bad. But then comes Phase 2. The problem is pretty simple. We can't build a strong enough defense. Hypnoshrooms are great, but they're meant to be eaten. Walnut and Spikeweed are useful, but they're missile fodder. I'm not even sure what I could have done differently before I died, because the amount of chickens that get released are crazy. Let's just try this again. And 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 again. I finally made it to Phase 3. I just don't know what to do anymore. I tried accumulating. I tried placing and shoveling. I tried avoiding. I tried walnuts in the back. I tried walnuts in the front. I tried Hypnos in the back. I tried Hypnos in the front. I tried getting a boost for Hypno in the Zen Garden just in case I needed it. I tried everything I could think of. But no. This level's either possible with a boost or not possible at all. I just have to keep playing until I get to Phase 3 again. I ran out of time. And now, I have to wait around 2 months to try it again. And I mean, that's fine, but I'm technically not even halfway through the expansion levels. I could still play through the rest, but what if this happens again? I have to wait 2 months to try one level again? I could just access an earlier version with the expansion levels on the world map, but I have an iPhone. Have you experienced Apple's security? How am I supposed to download external apps on this? I bought another phone. Yes, this is a new phone. And before you run to the comment section, no, I didn't blow $1,000 on a new phone for one video. I'm not that impulsive. I had been thinking about getting another device for YouTube stuff, and I actually bought this for an extremely affordable price. I just thought it'd be funny to imply that Wild West Day 35 made me buy a new phone. But with this new technology, we can now access a previous version of Plants vs. Zombies 2 and play any of the expansion levels without a time limit. Of course, I'll be beating the remaining expansion levels on my main save, but at the very least, we can play through Day 35 at our own leisure. And just in time, too, as there's a strategy I'd like to try. During one of my fits of blind insanity, I managed to stumble upon a strat for Day 35 that could actually work. This strategy involves placing all the plants we're given in order to make the conveyor belt give us nothing but Hypnoshrooms. Now, this was something I tried initially, but didn't have a plan on where I'd place everything. But with this layout, I can not only place down all the plants I'm given, but avoid them from getting in contact with the zombies. Which, in Electric Current and Iceberg Lettuce's case, is necessary for this level to be possible for the challenge. It took a bit of workshopping, but once I got everything in place, it was starting to look achievable. Phase 1 went to Phase 2, and Phase 2 went to Phase 3. I was getting so close to beating this level, and then an imp touched my electric current. Let's just try that again. I beat it. I beat Wild West Day 35! And not only did I beat Wild West Day 35, but I beat it with only Plants vs. Zombies 1 plants! It's possible! Wild West Day 35 is possible for the challenge! I can't believe it. That was so hard. I can't deny that those rumors weren't true. This one was pretty bad. There were so many moments where I wasn't sure how I'd lost, or how I was even supposed to win. And I genuinely believe that if I didn't find this strategy out there, that I wouldn't have seen myself completing this one. But anything's possible, right? I am not going to miss this world, or this level, for as long as I'm playing this game. Let's get out of here and never look back.
Weed eater.
Thank God for Far Future. I'm not sure how most players rank it, but I find Far Future to be the easiest world next to Pirate Seas. Power tiles, overpowered plants. Hell, the only thing threatening about Far Future is how much health the Zombot Tomorrowtron has. Which, judging by the last level, is apparently something I have to worry about now. But, come on, it's Far Future. Let's see what Day 28 has in store for us. Getting a little excited, aren't we? Typically when I have no defensive plants, I place my sun producers in the front to stall zombies while producing sun. But this is a rare instance in which I need to defend my sun producers in order to afford enough starfruits. Thankfully, starfruit's plant food is pretty powerful when used directly on zombies. But there are so many zombies we need to use it on that we'll eventually run out of plant food. That's where our mowers come in, but by the time we reach the final wave, we'll have used most of our mowers just to get that far. To put it simply, there's no pretty way to beat this level. It's all about sunflower and starfruit spam, keeping them alive and conserving your plant food as much as possible. Your ultimate goal is to have all your mowers by the final wave so that you can take everything out. But poor stalling and reckless plant food use is the difference between a run and a fail. And if you want some quick plant food math, 1 plant-fed starfruit is enough to take out a gargantuar, and up to 2 hollow heads, I think. Well, this level's impossible by default, although it's nice to use Sapling again. I also thought to try a 3-Peter Torchwood strat since Sap doesn't chill, but no, don't try PvZ1 strats in PvZ2. Oh, the irony. Well, thanks for introducing an entirely new mechanic in the middle of the fucking level. Let's move up to Tier 2. Once again, Scaredy Shroom's cheap price is surprisingly useful. I had also forgotten that mecha footballs were in this level, but thankfully, Scaredy's plant food took them out before I got to find out if they'd push the mold colonies and kill my saplings. Day 30's a smelly sun bombs level. I had the genius idea to use Split Pea to take out these jetpack and Blasternaut zombies from behind. But then the level thought it'd be funnier to spawn shield zombies in the middle of the lawn because fuck you, enlightenment seeds for $49. This level's all about Sunbomb RNG and using them to kill zombies. You're either gonna have a good time or a bad one. Unfortunately, Day 31's impossible for the challenge. However, the level itself is surprisingly easy because of how hard these plants carry it. We also lost our lawnmowers. I'm not sure if the power tile bug persists in these expansion levels, but this is pretty ridiculous. Wait a minute. This is the first time in this expansion that I'm actually using power tiles. Where the hell have they been these last 3 levels? Hey look, power tiles. This level's not too bad, but it's not easy either. The high health zombies really start to add up, and you need to time your blowovers for the bot swarms unless you want to deal with this. You're also going to want to protect your winter melons as best as possible. But if things get desperate, shovel them. Better to get 250 sun back than get nothing at all. Day 33 revolves around bot swarms, but that's nothing Blover can't handle. Oh boy. So, these bot swarms dictate the pace of the level. The faster you take out the bot swarms, the faster the level progresses and eventually starts to overwhelm you. So, for the first time in this challenge, Blover is a bust. And in case you were wondering if Spikeweed could handle the flowers... yeah... Unfortunately, I don't think adventure plants are gonna cut it, so we're moving to Tier 2. Yeah, with what little room we have to work with, Scaredy was destined to fail. I think I know how to beat this one, but it'll require tier 3. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but even Explodonut didn't make that much less difficult. That was probably the hardest level of Far Future objectively, even though Day 28 was harder to beat with Starfruit alone. Side note, this level was possible to beat with tier 2 plants, at least since the release of Ice Room. Still pretty hard though. As for Day 34, it was looking to be quite problematic before I realized that I can save up for Wintermelon while dealing damage at the cost of 50 Sun later. And that wasn't too bad. But now we're at Zomboss. It cannot be worse than Wild West, right? Nah, just kidding, it wasn't that bad. It can be a little annoying at the start though, seeing as you need good conveyor belt RNG to get Blover, and good zombie RNG to not have a hollow head hold the plant food. But once you start building up plant food and power tiles, this level becomes a cakewalk. Again, I don't think you were supposed to get this many power tiles, but I'll take it anyways. We celebrate with 80 gems, a new costume for Tallnut, and the ability to not hear this stupid music loop ever again. Seriously, I turned the volume off and it's still playing. I'd say that this was the second easiest expansion thus far, but Wild West Day 35 is hard carrying its difficulty, so let's just head back on over to...
I drowned that croc in my own blood.
From the year 2023 to 153,954,765 years before our departure. That's a bit of a jump. There's also, you know, the jump in difficulty between Far Future and Jurassic Marsh, but that's okay, I'm not worried at all. Day 35 sucks. Not only is it impossible under our challenge restrictions, not only are we not given any mowers, not only do we need good conveyor belt RNG, but it's also never fun to play. Raptors and T-Rexes are sent out non-stop, which is ironic because this is the first time T-Rexes have ever been a threat. Raptors, on the other hand, wouldn't have been a problem if Primal Pea Shooter couldn't knock back zombies into the flowers. Finally, there's the Jurassic Bullies. You're expected to use Chili Bean to take out Jurassic Bullies, as they're immune to Primal Pea Shooter's knockback. However, this gimmick is really inconsistent, as sometimes it proves an annoyance, while other times it doesn't. In fact, inconsistent is the best word I use to describe this level. Off to a pretty bad start. Oh boy. Toadstool's enormous range makes them a huge pain in the ass to avoid using, and this first wave is not doing us any favors. Although I don't know why it didn't cross my mind to try Puff Shroom. The Ancient Egypt Day 32 trauma must have been pretty fresh around the time I was playing, because I jumped to using Explodonut the moment Scaredy wasn't working. Having a good crowd controller to deal with high health zombies for 50 sun and a 10-second recharge is extremely busted. It would have been wrong to not restrict it to tier 2. Also, take out any guards before they get the chance to throw their imps, as this Toadstool will eat it in a heartbeat. Ah, pterodactyls and ankylosauruses. How nostalgic. Thankfully, garlic remains useful in Jurassic Marsh, diverting zombies from the dinos. Sunshroom spam also helps against zombie spam, providing a quick defense against zombies and ankylosauruses while generating a lot of sun. Once you learn how to control the chaos, because this level does get chaotic, it's all yours. Yeah, no. One level 1 3-peater is not gonna kill an Amberhead zombie by the time it reaches the end of the lawn, are you kidding me? Challenge aside, this level isn't horrible. It introduces Jurassic Rock Puncher, who is immune to Primal Pea Shooter's knockback, and can destroy our plants. 3-peater may not be able to take them out alone, but in numbers, they provide ample support to our Primal Pea Shooters. I love 50 Sun Cherry Bomb. Not that one.
Out of the way, you!
Not having more than 15 plants is gonna be a bit of a problem with these dinos. Oh, bet! This level is actually pretty easy. But then the game gives us banana launchers, so f you, because there goes our 100% Explodonut chance. I could try keeping banana launcher on the conveyor belt to manipulate the Explodonut RNG. Didn't work. I could try placing and shoveling. Didn't work. I could try asking the conveyor belt to move faster. This rots. Fuck this level. If you have a better shot at beating it, be my guest. Fun fact about day 40. It's almost identical to day 28. Ain't that something? I spent so long trying to formulate a nice strategy that would hold up, but nothing was working. And because I don't want to beat what's left of this game with just Snow Pea and Explodonut, I settled on the only other way to deal with zombie and dino spam. Sun spam. Seriously, spam sun producers, spend sun on fume shrooms, bring puff shroom for support. It's as simple as that. Finally, day 41. Last stand. This level was going so well until this one dino showed up at the end. Good game design. I did have quite a bit of plant food saved up though, so let's try this again. Well, things got messy around the end, and this single zombie prevented me from affording a cherry bomb earlier. But good butter RNG went a long way in beating this level. You're going to want to take out this cluster of imps with Wintermelon's plant food effect, and make sure you get enough sun back from shoveling your plants to afford another cherry bomb, jalapeno, and squash for the final wave. And now, Dr. Zomboss. I'm not sure what I should be expecting anymore. Impossible without PVZ2 plants. Thankfully, this level isn't too bad. Guacodile's good, Primal Pea Shooter's good, Parsnip's really good, and Perfume Shroom goes without saying. Zomboss does get a little missile crazy, but it's surprisingly nowhere near as bad as modern day Day 34. And that's another expansion down. Jurassic Marsh really stepped up the difficulty, but not in a fun way. The dinosaurs were a huge pain in the ass to deal with, and the zombie spam in this world is relentless. Which is not an expansion thing, by the way, that's just Jurassic Marsh in general. Only 8 more levels remain, a 5 jalapeno world expansion. Time to go back, or should I say go forward, to modern day. Here we are in the future, and the final expansion of Plants vs. Zombies 2. Interestingly, Day 36 is the last stand. We don't have a lot of sun to work with, and brickheads have more health than any of our level 1 adventure plants could comfortably handle. We could try and install out as many brickheads as possible with Wintermelon and Walnuts and take them out with our instas. Or we could jump to tier 2 and take advantage of Scarity's low cost and strong plant food effect. But I ultimately decided on jumping to tier 4 for this one. For all the people on part 1 who still comment about me not using Chomper, this one goes out to you. This might be a problem. Yeah, that's about right. If the pterodactyls were used sparingly, garlic could have been great here. But this one's not too bad. You need to save up for wintermelons as soon as possible, because they take care of everything. Seriously, I don't think the pterodactyls got a chance to lift a single zombie off the ground once I got 2 wintermelons out. But on the off chance that they do, pay close attention, because zombie invincibility is as stupid as it sounds. Day 38 is dreadful. It's crazy how much the Save Our Seeds levels have tested what I can and can't get away with in this challenge, and Day 38 is no exception. The level starts off innocently enough, although we have to conserve our instant plans for Newspaper and Sunday Edition Zombie, who's a super buffed newspaper zombie that can tank a hit from Squash. As for the Moonflowers, they won't affect our gameplay so long as we don't collect any sun produce from them. So what's the problem? Well, it stems from the final wave. 3 Gargs is nothing I haven't dealt with before, but their imps are complete run enders. Beating this level already requires a tight-knit strat, which involves micromanaging Puff Shrooms, Gravebusters, Twin Sunflowers, and Squash to afford Wintermelon before Flag 1, and then affording a Wintermelon in every lane while also dealing with Newspapers, Sunday Edition Zombies, and Gargantuars. But to add 3 imps at the end that can force you to do that all over again is pretty malicious. My winning run was both a complete stroke of luck and complete bullshit. Because if I had used that Squash for the top Garg, my Wintermelons would not have killed this imp in 2 shots. Day 39 isn't too bad, but it's really messy. You're going to want to spam as many Sunshrooms as possible in order to afford 2 Wintermelons before the first wave. And once you can afford 2, this level becomes about affording another, and another, and another, until you've made it to the end. I couldn't imagine beating this level without Wintermelon. They're practically the universal solution. Day 40 has the groundwork to be a really frustrating level. Jesters, Boombox Zombies, and Gargantuar Primes. However, I found that spikes make for a solid solution. They give nothing for Jester to reflect, they're unaffected by Boombox Zombie, and they're far too up to be targeted by Gargantuar Prime's laser attack. Using Wintermelon creates a bit of a risk, as they can be destroyed by Gargantuar Prime's laser, but in my opinion, the reward far outweighs the risk. What makes this level tricky is how you have to dedicate 4 instas in killing the first 2 Garg in this level, which uses up 4 of the 5 total plants that you can lose. You can try killing the Gargs traditionally, but then you risk them killing more plants than the 2 necessary to kill one, so that's up to you. On my winning run, I couldn't lose a single plant, and this one attack could have been the end of my run. Fortunately, Spike Rock's plant food effect actually kills any zombie in its lane, and not in the way it used to. I'm not sure if this is a bug or a balance change to differentiate between Spikeweed and Spike Rock's plant food effect, but it's powerful enough to instantly kill Gargantuar, and I think that's worth noting. Oh, say less! Yeah, we lost. Just as the Puff Shrooms couldn't take out the Excavators in Lost City Day 8, all the Wintermelons in the world couldn't take out a single Parasol zombie. This one just isn't possible. But aside from that, I find this level to be really creative. You're given Wintermelons and Snapdragons, 2 plants that interfere with each other's abilities. However, this level sends out Parasols and Imp Dragons, 2 zombies that are vulnerable to one plant, but not the other. You're expected to use Wintermelon to take out the Imp Dragons, and save Chili Bean and Chard Guard for if they get too far into your defenses. Alternatively, you're expected to use Snapdragons to take out the Parasols, and save Chili Bean and Chard Guard for if they block Wintermelon's projectiles. That's a really interesting way to play into these zombies' mechanics, and show that even the most unlikely plants could synergize together given the right circumstances. Props to whoever designed this level. It feels straight out of a mod, and I mean that in the best way. Finally, the penultimate level. Huh. That's not what I was expecting. No crazy objectives, no expansion mashup, no portals. You know what? Let's give our premium and CDM plans some love. It is the last level after all. Let's have some fun. Oh. Forgot about the sun requirement. Surprisingly, you have to do a decent amount of stalling on this level to reach that sun requirement. Because of that, Wintermelon was just too powerful for this one. Thankfully, Kernopal made the perfect replacement. Pumpkin was also helpful, and Scaredy played its role as a cheap, affordable attacker. I'm not sure what this interaction was about, but we did it. I'm sure this level is completely possible without tier 2 plants, but it was fun to give them one last hurrah. And now, we've arrived at day 42, the climactic finale of our journey to try to beat every level in Plants vs. Zombies 2 with Plants vs. Zombies 1 plants. But before we fight Zomboss, I thought I'd leave no stone unturned. Remember that save I used to beat Wild West Day 35? Well, that save includes the 12 missing levels from each timed event. And because I bought a new device for it, I figured I'd beat those remaining 12 levels for the sake of completion. Granted, I am limited to tier 1 plants on my second save, but how hard could they be? Let's return one last time to ancient Egypt.
Outrage in Egypt tonight as it was discovered that the Great Pyramid of Giza had been stolen.
The real first level of ancient Egypt after Zomboss is manageable through our familiar strategy. Stall for enough sun to afford Wintermelon, and they'll take care of the rest, with Puffshroom, Squash, and Cherry Bomb for support. Day 27, on the other hand, is a little more complicated. The same idea remains, except you have to be a lot more aggressive in producing sun and setting up a defense. If your Puffshrooms don't take out each Explorer zombie at the start, you're as good as gone. There's also Necromancy in ancient Egypt, which can leave your front lines unsupported for a while. Seriously, you know a level's hard when even 2 Wintermelons aren't enough to control everything. You have to play this one the way the game wants you to play it, but once you get into the rhythm, you're more than halfway there. On to Pirate Seas.
Well, yo ho ho and the yumpity dum. My IQ was very low. I'm a pirate and I'm dumb.
Looking back, I think I underestimated how difficult the Pirate Seas expansion truly was. And day 26 was no exception. It is hard. I nearly threw in the towel trying to find a working strat for this level with tier 1 plants, but I managed to find one. You gotta stall just enough to get a decent defense going, and if you built up enough sun producers by the first wave, you should be able to afford your first Wintermelon. I genuinely thought Wintermelon would be unviable for this level, considering how much is thrown at you before the first wave. But if you can get 1 down, you could get 5 down. And if you can get 5 down, then it's already over. Man, how many jalapenos is this world again? Day 27 is ridiculous. It gives you a false sense of security by giving you 3-peaters and, oh, Spike Rock. But this level sucks and the developers know it because it ain't in the timed event. The barrel rollers are non-stop, the seagull zombies are non-stop, the pirate captains are non-stop. 3-peater can't even attack the barrel roller zombie itself, and it's the only plant capable of consistently killing seagull zombies. Spikeweed and Spike Rock get destroyed constantly, and if that wasn't bad enough, you've got 5 guards to take out by the end of the level, with 4 3-peaters and 1 Spike Rock. I tried beating this level with only PvZ1 plants, but the furthest I can consistently make it was past Flag 2, and I don't think I can make it any further. If this level were possible for the challenge, I'd reckon this can be in the top 5 hardest levels, no doubt. Fuck Pirate Seas for actually stepping up its difficulty.
Wait! Howdy, guys!
Quiet, nope, stools don't talk.
Come sit on me!
No, not here! Anywhere but here! Day 26 is easy, and minecarts make it even easier. Just do the same thing you did in ancient Egypt. Also, suck it, Frisco. Day 27 isn't possible for the challenge, but it sure is possible in general. Why is every level in Wild West easy, but then day 35 happens? Whatever. That just means I can get out of here faster. Moving on to...
I am a robotic... I am a robotic entity.
Far Future Day 26 is challenging, but not insanely difficult. I do wish this run could have gone cleaner, but I'm not gonna complain over a job well done. Day 27's not too bad either. Until they did this. In what universe could I have been prepared to deal with that? I guess I'll have to save some sun for Blover, assuming this level won't do this more than once per wave. However, I will say that I'm quite impressed with how well this strategy worked. Fumeture may be seeing less and less use in my run, but I love when they're given a moment to shine. Let's see if they'll have a use in Jurassic Marsh.
Dinosaur office! Roar!
What kind of person opens a level like this? Day 33 was looking pretty bad, until I remembered the golden strat of Jurassic Marsh. Spam sun producers. Things don't get any easier once you bought your first winter melon, and you've still got to keep on the lookout for those ankylosauruses. But through enough micromanaging, day 33 is more than possible. It turns out that we lose our mowers as early as day 34. And boy do I wish that wasn't the case, because maybe we could have had a shot at this level. If it wasn't obvious by the first 2 zombies, Split Pea could not take these alone. Maybe from the back, but that wouldn't matter anyways because we can't lose more than 10 plants. And in case you were wondering, no, this is not post-buff Torchwood. I was thinking this level could be possible on my main save, but there's no way to access this level on it. Plus, if boosted Split Pea wasn't enough for this one, I don't have high hopes. Goodbye, Mom. Now, back to where it all started. Modern day Day 35 is undoubtedly the best first expansion level. You're actually given time to ramp before the first wave, and even if barrel rollers in the middle are kinda dumb, you can easily take care of them with Sun to spare. Really glad modern day remembered that portals exist. On the other hand, Day 36 sucks. You want to talk about bad level design? Try 2 imp cannons at the start, giving you 2 tiles to deal with an onslaught of imps. Follow that with an explosion of imps if not taken care of, and then 2 more imp cannons, wizard zombies, and newspaper zombies. I genuinely have no idea how I beat this one. I just happened to stall out long enough to have the mowers deal with the rest. I could not figure out a viable strategy by the time I completed this level, and I will not miss it going forward. To modern day, Day 44. It's time to end this. Fume Shroom. Spikeweed? Chomper? Are we actually going to get a PvZ1 finale? Well, kinda. I'm just gonna cut to the chase. Modern day Day 42 may be the hardest possible stage to beat under my challenge restrictions. This fight rivals Neon Mixtape Tour Day 32 in terms of difficulty. Except luck plays an even bigger role in determining how this level plays out. You will never be comfortable in this fight. Every plan you can use can't reliably take out a majority of these zombies, to the point where if you don't get Chomper by the time Zomboss starts spawning zombies, you might as well restart. Fume Shroom and Spikeweed are good plants, but 2 Fume Shrooms are not enough to kill a balloon zombie, let alone 1 newspaper zombie. That's not to mention you've got Dusklobbers and Nightshades clogging up the entire conveyor belt, and that after phase 1, Zomboss starts to send out even higher health zombies, such as All-Stars, Sunday Edition zombies, and Gargantuars. I poured so many attempts into this fight, but my best run saw me losing to a Sunday Edition zombie because of Chomper's startup animation before eating. Which is, I mean, whatever, man. I really wanted to beat this level legitimately, but with the insane RNG requirements, the time limit on epic quests, and the fact that my second save has pre-buffed Chomper, I thought I'd get some help from a place long forgotten. You thought that in the months this video was in the works that I wouldn't be prepared for this? And that's a wrap. While I might have beaten it the unlegit way, I don't know how else I would have beaten it. But it was really satisfying to crush this level considering its difficulty. We get a rushed send-off to an underdeveloped storyline, and an official ending to our PvZ2 adventure. And now, to tally our final numbers. At the end of part 3, I concluded that 243 out of 317 levels were possible with only PvZ1 plants, while 74 out of 317 levels were impossible with only PvZ1 plants. However, in the year since I released that video, the total number of possible levels increased from 243 to 261 thanks to the efforts of these users. As for impossible levels, the total dropped from 74 to 56. But now, we've got some addition to do. Counting the 60 expansion levels, the total number of levels increases from 317 to 377. And now, out of 377 total levels, which includes the 5 tutorial levels and includes all of the expansion levels, 301 levels are beatable with only Plants vs. Zombies 1 plants, while 76 are impossible with only Plants vs. Zombies 1 plants. That means that just about 80% of Plants vs. Zombies 2 is beatable with only Plants vs. Zombies 1 plants. Whether you stuck through the whole video, or skipped to the end to see the final totals, I appreciate you making it this far. I never thought anyone would be around to experience this journey with me, but considering the final percentage, I'm glad to have made it this far. And who knows, that percentage will probably increase one day. With dedicated players like these, and more PvZ1 plans just around the corner, there will always be something to come back to in this game. And if PopCap really wanted to finish what they started, I'd certainly play through it. Thank you for watching this video, and seeing this challenge to the very end. I never expected this series to have put me out there, but I might as well have fun with it while I still have your attention. Thank you so much for 1 million views on part 1, and most insane of all, thank you so much for 50,000 subscribers. Making it this far is one hell of an achievement for me, and I'll continue to create for as long as I can. I appreciate your time and attention, and hope you'll stick around for the next one. As always, I'll see you then. Peace.